creating a new live broadcast. Let's check.
Yeah.
Let's check the link and see if it's working. Let's check. And it is working. Hello, everybody, and welcome back to the Trip Sitters podcast. Previously on the Trip Sitters podcast, YMS, from the film corner of the internet, graced the psychonatic corners to talk about gasoline huffing celebrities. Take it away, Tripkeeper. Where's it gone? hey, bro, your mic's not on. Hello?
Oh.
Oh, I could hear myself. Yo.
How about now? Is it
And
going
he's
now?
back. He's back.
Okay. Did anyone hear what I said or
No,
no?
it was all off. I couldn't hear anything.
Oh, okay.
You were rendering.
We are
It was
okay. We are back with the quarter annual celebration or a quarter. I don't know how we could have called, but it's quarter something because we are on the 25th episode of the Trip Sitters podcast.
Yep.
What an amazing accomplishment we got going on here. On today's celebration, we're going to be talking about the movie Smiley Face, as recommended per Adam Johnston from Your Movie Sucks YMS. Great
Mashallah,
respect
brother.
out to him. He just uploaded a new video today. I just got notified for it from 5 hours ago. He did I Love Boosters, Backrooms, and Neil Breen. So I'll have to see it. I need to see the Duplicity movie.
I was also watching that just before you came on, and
Oh, you were watching it?
yeah, I don't want to spoil it, but he links up with lots of other YouTubers in it, and it was really interesting to see him with these other big figures as well, because like everyone, the YMS and the Sardonicast lads, they all meet up, don't they? And like I say
That's
in the
crazy.
past, we'll meet up in the future, and we'll do an actual real live stream of the Trip Sitters.
Yeah, because you're coming to Ohio
I'm
in,
coming to
later this
Ohio.
year. Crazy place to come, man. It's a place full of everything, yet full of nothing. But you'll get it once you come here. You'll see what that even means. Because, yeah, it's hard to explain unless you're here.
I was watching I sent you that video, didn't I? I was watching Hannibal, and then some like out of nowhere, just some random scene. It's just like Cleveland, Ohio, and there's just some guy walking around with his head on fire and a homeless geezer. So I thought, oh right,
Yeah.
that's the perfect first impressions, then, isn't it?
Yeah, because our river went on fire like 100 years ago, the Cuyahoga County or
Oh,
Cuyahoga Valley River. Yeah.
Are there any films about like Ohio, like notable movies
Uh,
or like
there's
artworks?
some. There's actually a movie based on a high school over here, about the bullying that happened. That was a tearjerker. But yeah, but there's been a lot of movies I've filmed in Ohio. Like Superman was filmed here just as of the most recent one. They actually filmed at Menor Headlands Beach, which I'm closer to, and they filmed in Cleveland, which I'm very close to. So that's pretty cool. And they filmed the Fast and Furious 7 or 8 here, part of it.
Epic.
And I did pick up like a piece of a card that flew off. I don't know what happened to it, but I know I took it when it happened. And then, of course, a lot of Marvel movies were filmed here. The
Really?
Avengers. Yeah, the Avengers was filmed here, the first one. Yeah, Spider-Man 3 was filmed here. Some parts, not all of it, of course, but some. I was almost an extra in Spider-Man 3, actually, because they were looking for children, but we never signed. My mom didn't put me up for the audition, so screw you, mom.
Give us the children for Spider-Man. That's crazy. This is a major Trip Keeper law dumping.
Oh yeah, no, he got it.
No, I've never been asked to come in be in any Hollywood films, unfortunately. I guess that's like a phenomenon of being American, isn't it? It's like you're more.
You could just sign up. Yeah, no, they give out listings, but I mean, I wasn't like chosen or anything. I was just there was like an ad, and my mom was talking about. I'm like, I'd like to do that, but we never did it. And also I almost got into this they were like looking for kids to be in whatever. I think it was like a children's show, but my mom didn't trust it, so we never did it. Which I'm kind of glad because you hear the horror stories. Take off your shoes in front of Dan Schneider, and next thing you know, yeah,
You're
you're
on the casting couch.
yes, at a very young age, and it's very disgusting. But I'm gonna go grab a water really quick. I'll give me like 5 seconds, okay?
Sam, how are we all feeling tonight? Yeah, nice to get back on the Trip Sitters hype at the minute. It was a real dream come true for me and the Trip Keeper interviewing Adam Johnston from YMS. Uh,
Um,
so out of the blue. I was just telling him about just how surreal it was for us to interview YMS because we've been fans of him for a very, very long time. And also
yes.
just the actual, it says a lot about um, our little niches threads to other niches. Like there's an interlink between like his content and ours, and like his psychology and ours. I can see why he wanted to come on now that I've reflected on it. um because I mean we're all a bit fucking brain fried on here as well. And I've always related to him, and I've always seen him as like an alternative type of mind. It's like it was destined to be in a sense.
Yeah. I'm glad, yeah. No, he when I emailed him first, he's a very busy man, so I'm like thankful that he even came on, in
Mm.
the first place. So, um yeah, I tried it out of the blue. I was like, "Hey, because he was like, because with our verified check marks, we have that, that more of a bigger outreach. But even with the email, though, I wasn't, he checked that on his own because there's no verified check marks there. But he could have probably just recognized me from, the same. I mean, I don't even think I used the same profile picture, but it's close in my email.
Yeah.
But yeah, I tried it out. I think I sent you the first email, and I was just shocked he even responded. The fact that he even did, I'm like, that's very awesome. So and then he said he
Yeah.
was busy. He's like, try to contact me in May and see if we could do something. So I waited till like May 10th, May 15th, because I didn't want to be like May 1st. Hey, yo, can you come on? Can you come on? I had to play it cool, and I was cool. I wasn't trying to rush him or nothing because I know he's going through stuff and he's got a lot of stuff to do. He just moved and everything. So yeah, very big ups to him, man, for
Yep.
coming on. That was very nice of him. Not too many big YouTubers like that would do that. They
No,
might not even respond. So good for him.
you're a hero, Adam. We love you. And he's up. Yes, we'll get into it. He's inspired us, folks, to start between when it's just me and the Trip Keeper on the podcast. We're gonna start dissecting to the best of our ability drug movies in the whole gamut of them, like every single type of movie that is predominantly based like a well this where like a substance is the plot device, I would say, or substances
Yeah,
are the plot device, because I mean drugs are in all sorts of films, random scenes. We could even talk about like random scenes in films. But we're
right.
gonna but every week, if you want to keep up with us, we're gonna rotate a few new films. So this one is, yeah, Smiley Face from 2007 by Gregg Araki, famous for making Mysterious Skin, which you said you hadn't seen before.
No, I haven't. It's in my watch list. Actually, a lot of his films were in my watch list because I was on Letterbox looking through all these films I got to see, and I happened to add a lot of his without even knowing who he was. So, because there's a film called Nowhere that looks really good. That's by him. I like to see that. But yeah, it's like he's got a very. Oh, he made the Dahmer series too.
Did it?
Wow,
Did
that's
it?
interesting. I'll give that a 4 because I really like that. I didn't like how they made him out to be like we like sympathize with him,
I've never actually
but
seen it.
everything else, yeah, it's really good. And actually, it's funny because we were speaking of filmed in Ohio. Jeffrey Dahmer's from Bath, Ohio, and
Oh,
I
really?
passed his house. Yeah, I went to go see his house. Someone's actually living there, like a psychopath. But yeah, no, I went there. Yeah, it's just there's like you always get that weird feeling, I'm sure in the UK when you see, crimes happening and you see where it like took place or something, you get like that eerie feeling.
Yeah,
But yeah,
I went
it's
to
cool.
Alistair Crowley's, one of Alistair Crowley's residences
Oh,
in Scotland. You couldn't actually go up to it. You could in the past, but they're renovating it so that they can. It's a bit of a shame, actually. It's cool, but it's also sad that they're like renovating it so that they can eventually do turn it into a museum or like an Alistair Crowley tour. It's not like just a residence that you can go to and just observe and be around. It's going to be like some commercialized bullshit, which is a bit annoying. But
Uh,
I did actually go to it though. I can't remember what the name of it
wait.
was. It's where Robert Plant from
Yeah,
Led
Led
Zeppelin.
Zeppelin. They recorded the album there, right?
Yeah, that's where I went up to.
Jimmy Page bought it.
Yeah, that's it. That's it. Yeah. And I went up there, yeah, last year with Space Nymph. It was fascinating. I mean, I literally just saw it from like a while away.
Oh,
But
you
then,
went with her?
yeah,
Okay.
yeah, we went and Carissa Love when we went on that Scottish expedition. I was driving everywhere. I was sick that. And we love a good tangent. We literally gone from talking about the
All
film.
right.
This is the nature of the podcast, and I'm
Yeah,
sure
we couldn't do that with Adam. I mean, we did, but we didn't. We
we,
tried to
we,
limit it.
we were so structured. It was a foreign alien feeling.
Yeah, that was like our most like commercialized, profitable podcast we could have ever done. And it's almost at 2,000 views now, which is good. Like our first podcast was at 7,000, which is, I want to get back up to there, which I feel like if we do it more regularly,
Yeah,
it could.
pump
Um,
them numbers up.
Right, and we should like stick to things like, even if it's not that good of a movie, maybe we should stick to movies that like people have seen, so it's more, like
Yeah,
people more
yeah.
want to watch it. Because Smiley Face, I never even heard about before he said it. I think you have, but
I'd seen it. I mean, I'd seen it around because I'd watched Mysterious Skin. I think from YMS's recommendation. But I'd always seen it around, and it's a famous like shoegaze film, and lots of his films feature shoegaze music. And it was actually interesting. What like we'll go into the discussion now. The discussion has officially begun, folks. What's interesting about going into the film is that the soundtrack for this film is very different from other Gregg Araki films, which are mainly like shoegaze and alternative rock, whereas this had it was and it didn't feature like classic like stoner tunes. It was a really interesting soundtrack. Talking Heads, Stone Roses, The
Mhm.
Waterfall was playing at the beginning. I thought that personally, that I was already gonna, when I first started the film, I thought I'm already gonna enjoy this because I know that this guy Gregg's got a great choice in music. He gets hands on with it. So that was a
Yeah.
great start. Yeah. Do you have any like again, you are the structured version of myself. So do you have any notes about the film and things you want to say
Yeah, I wrote
before I
down
go on
some
a
notes.
ramble?
Yeah, should we do like I guess we could start off with things that aren't spoilery and then we could get into the spoilers
Yeah.
like how Sardonicast does it.
Yeah.
Um, I thought overall, I thought it was a good film. I'm glad I watched it. I gave it a 3.5 out of 5, which is like my, that's like my baseline. Enjoyed it, could watch it again. But it didn't like, change my life or anything like that. It's not like a 4 or above. But I liked it. I liked Anna Faris. She's good. She's really good in this movie. I like the way that she like because when she got really, really high, because she ate those edible cupcakes, she ate like 8, 10 of them,
And
and
she was high as fuck. She was blazed out her head on another level.
yeah, and she did really, and she stayed in that whole like she didn't change character the whole time, and that's how it is. Like it's like she went through all these trials and tribulations, but she managed to get by, even though she did. Well, I don't want to say at the end, but something where she had to pay for what she did at the end. But yeah, she did a good job, and I really liked how there was this one scene where she was on the phone with her boyfriend, I think, and she was like wobbling back and forth while
Yeah.
she was like standing there, and that was like a nice, that's how the director, like he knows like what it's like to be high. Like I know definitely this guy has been way too high before, he's been on drugs, like
Yes.
he knows what he's doing. I think it was a good hands, because when you wobble like that, you can't balance right. That means you are super messed up, and she would get off on tangents too, which was funny.
Yes.
And there's a really funny everyone else, they thought it was funny, but I thought it was really clever, the lasagna joke. That one, because that goes exactly through my head too. Whenever I get super high, like something like that, whereas it goes from lasagna to James A. Garfield, and that's why like I like lasagna. why
Yeah.
why do you have James A. Garfield on your mantle, man? Because I love lasagna.
Yeah,
That had me dying.
It's actually it's just, it wasn't like a laugh out loud funny film for me, but there was some certain moments that have stuck in my memory that genuinely made me chuckle. When she's in the car and then she opens the car door and then she just like rolls out of the car in the most stoned possible manner, and I was like, yeah, definitely been there before.
When she was backing up
Yeah,
or
yeah.
trying to, that
Yeah.
was funny. That gave me like PTSD a little bit, knowing that like there's no cars aren't even moving. It's just all in her head, and the door was closing, the garage door was closing on her, but she just she's like having a heart attack, but she didn't even move at all. That was really fun.
It's the most accurate of all the stoner films because like stoner films they're like a subgenre in and of themselves. I can't really think of like too many, but the main one that comes to mind is like Pineapple Express, Cheech and Chong, the classics. But this is way more interesting. I thought this is way more up my alley. Not only is it from a director I like and I like his style, the cinematography and aesthetics, music, all just bang on. The cast, great faces. From the 2000s, but the brilliance of the film, why I actually ended up really liking it towards the end. There was a bit in the middle where I was like, is this gonna just gonna be a 6 out of 10 sort of like marathon till
Yeah.
the end? And I was like, now towards I've started picking up on way more stuff. Like when the dentist sequence comes about, that's probably my favorite part of the film because so much going on. Because that's when she starts like wigging out, as I would say, pranging out, like going weird, greening out. Because she's like, oh no,
Yeah.
it's too normal. Because when you're stoned, and disclaimer, folks, I am under the influence of tetrahydrocannabinol right now for the podcast. Um, so actually, this film did change my life in some sense because it inspired me to consume cannabis for the podcast. And
There you go.
I thought I'd get in the right mind state for it. It was rather interesting, and it reminded me of certain aspects of the like cannabis high that the film conveys really well. Yeah, be like ordinary social interactions suddenly feel like so complicated and convoluted because you
Right.
it's like you it's weird there's because she goes through this and I think a lot of stoners or like people who are sensitive to cannabis do
Hmm.
you go through like this oscillation of being like, oh, I've got it all figured out to I'm literally like lost in a dream, and then you're like oscillating between these two like mind states. And she is in the film, she's like, I've got to get this, if I get all these things sorted then I'll have my life sorted, and then this and that, and then it goes into like it touches upon that she's definitely got ADHD, hasn't she, the girl. She's
Yeah.
trapped in like a cycle of executive dysfunction.
Yeah, what's crazy is that I don't even know how she even came up with the plan and how she remembered it. Because if I took that many edibles, like I wouldn't even like that 19 minute, approximately 19 minutes later scene where she's just sitting there. She's like, "I got a plan." Like that wouldn't even have happened. I would have been writing something, and then I would have started getting like I would have been going on tangents like we do, and I would have just like ended up watching a TV show or something, and then it just wouldn't like I would not get stuff done. But that's just how I am on weed. Some people can, but
Yes.
that I don't know. That was a lot of weed that she consumed because she smoked, and then she took eight to ten cupcakes. I can't remember how many it was, and then she smoked some more. But yeah, then there what? But one thing I I thought they were going to continue doing, which they just immediately stopped, was when they were going from A to Z. They stopped after what, letter C? Like they didn't do that anymore. I thought they were gonna like start doing it. I'm like, okay, well this makes sense. They're gonna because it went the A was for whatever, and then the B was for the root beer, and then C was for something else. But yeah, they I thought he was gonna continue doing that, and I found it strange after watching it that they didn't. So I don't know if that was probably purposeful, of course, but I don't know what the purpose was
Mm.
because I thought that was a good decision. I think they're moving a little bit too fast with it in the beginning, so I'm like, I don't know how they're going to spread it out, but they ended up stop. They didn't do it anymore. So except when they got on the Ferris wheel at the end, of course. But
Mm.
yeah, I don't know if you noticed that or want to say anything about that, but
Mm. Yeah, no, it's a good point. Just going back to the actual consumption of the edibles, I thought that what struck out to me in that moment, because I was thinking about, right, okay, this is a drug movie, and like there's all these other drug movies. How do they depict drugs and the drug of choice? So this is the weed movie, and then you got Requiem for a Dream is the heroin movie, you could say. And in contrast to like these other drug movies that are very like harrowing and bleak, that what even though there was it's the fact that like she's not self-harming, is she, by consuming cannabis? She just lacks like control, like self-control and input. Like
Right.
she suffers with it like ADHD brain, and it's like a commentary more so on like, yeah, I'd say executive dysfunction rather than like being an addict. But she's clearly like dependent on weed, but it's not, doesn't depict weed in like a positive or negative light. It's just like this is just sort of the reality, the absurd
Yeah.
reality for someone who is like absolutely hooked on cannabis like 24/7, and that's just like their life, and they just can't imagine anything different. Um, and I guess it's the point that she eats the edibles. That's like the film establishing that almost everything afterwards, like it's just all the consequences, all the good and bad, comes from this one impulsive decision, and she's constantly getting distracted and going around in loopholes, and that ties into the ending where it's like, what did she really achieve in the end? Like, but she's still like she's still got that. She's still bliss like throughout the whole film. She's like blissfully unaware of like almost how bad like her life is like materially, but she's not
Yeah.
bothered because she's under the influence of THC, which it's like that South Park quote, and it's like, well, Stan, the truth is marijuana probably isn't going to make you kill people, but well, son, pop makes you fine with being bored, and it's like it's such a true quote.
Hmm.
So yeah, I thought that was interesting the way that it
Yeah.
like it explores that.
Yeah, that was very interesting there. And I think we're gonna just do spoilers from now on because this movie is kind of hard to talk about without spoiling it. So
Spoiler alert.
just letting everybody know. But yeah, I thought where her ending, when she's in jail, I thought that was better for her than going back to the her roommate's apartment because
Yeah.
he was gonna be pissed. So her being in jail kind of saves her from that trouble. And what
Mm.
was what was really like very meta I found about the movie was that the character that everyone's creeped out by, her roommate, was Danny Masterson, who had rape charges against him.
Whoa.
And yeah, you don't remember that from that '70s show, that guy?
Oh my God! Yeah, yeah, yeah. It was him. I was looking at him,
That
and
was him.
I recognize so many people in this film. Like John Cho was in it, and Danny Trejo.
Yeah, Harold.
Yeah, the working at like the meat
Yeah,
farm.
the pig, the sausage place.
Yeah,
Yeah.
so he's a good. I recognized him, but then yeah, the guy from that
But
'70s
they
show. I kept looking at him. I was
what
like,
was
where have I seen him from? And then it's not that I'd seen him from other stuff. It's that I'd seen him in the news because of that.
Yeah, what's crazy is that they made him out to be like this creepy guy, like you got creepy vibes, and that he was a skull fucker, and like I mean I don't know if he was a skull fucker, but he'd just do it like they would cut to these scenes where he was naked and had put his dick in the skull, and
Whoa.
I thought maybe that was like a representation of what he was doing because maybe they knew about his past and his things that he did, and yeah, he got he was also a Scientologist as well. um
Mm.
so I thought that was interesting. I mean, I don't know if they knew that because it felt way too purposeful to not. And I know that was way before he got arrested, but his charges were from like years ago. So I don't know if it was like around the same time period where he actually was doing that stuff. But
Oh.
yeah, I thought that was interesting. I don't know if they knew about that and they just threw that in there as they like, hey, we know what you're doing and we're just gonna keep it in here and we're not gonna say nothing, or it was just that's just how they just wrote the character like that, which
Mm.
it could be, a mix of both, but I don't know. With this world, I would, it's not hard to believe that.
I don't fucking know anything anymore. Um,
Gosh, we don't have free will.
we'll play the
Adam
ball.
says we don't.
If Adam said it, it's true. That guy,
Right.
that character, the guy the character that guy plays, yeah, it's her roommate, isn't it? And then that guy's friend who thought he's like, I think she's sort of hot, like when she's like, she's baked out her head
Yeah,
on the
that was
sofa.
funny. That was funny.
That character Bevlin or whatever he's called, he was the funniest character. I like that actor. I've seen him in a few like random films, just as like just extra characters.
Wait,
And
which character?
this is her roommate's friend, the one with the glasses, who's like
Oh,
he's
John Krasinski?
is that what he's called? The
Yeah,
actor.
from The Office
Oh,
and A
oh,
Quiet Place.
oh, yeah, that's what he's off. The Office, isn't it? I've not seen The Office US, but I've seen his
Neither
face.
have I. I
Yeah.
just know, he's from there. And then A Quiet Place, of course, I saw in theaters,
Oh,
but that movie definitely died down for me.
yeah, same.
But
He
yeah, no,
he
yeah, he's
he,
very
he
popular here.
what I liked about his character was there was this funny bit. It's probably another bit of my favorite moments in the films. It was in the dentist sequence, and he's going on. He just can't fathom like why she's so averse to what's going on. Like this is just a normal day for him, the dentist, and he's trying to explain why like he feels proud of, or like he feels like going to the dentist is an achievement or something, to be like something to
Yeah, he
like resonate with, because it makes him feel prosperous, because it's like it shows that he's doing something with his life, in contrast to her, where it's like her life is just like pure chaos. It's like it's managed chaos in his, isn't it, in a sense?
Yeah. Yeah, that was funny that, he was like, and he wanted to make sure that we knew that he wasn't a masochist or anything. He didn't enjoy the pain of it. But yeah, he felt prosperous by going there. And it's funny that that scene happened and I went to the dentist today. That was going through my head. I was like sitting there, I'm like, damn, I'm dying of boredom right now. It was very meta today, this whole experience of the world for me. So
I was going to say, when
very
you mentioned
strange.
you were at the dentist, that's what's triggered me. I was like, oh, the dentist was my favorite part of that film. I was like, what the fuck, man?
Yeah, that's
Um,
funny.
Another thing about the film was yeah, when it goes back to the government marijuana, she goes to get the government marijuana to go and sell it to try and get some money, and then I relate to that through being a stoner back in the day, and of the rare occasion tonight being a stoner again. It's made me reflect, when I was like
Yeah,
proper like stoner every day all the time back when I was a teenager,
right.
and you'll do anything to like get a bit of money to like get some bud, and it's just normal, versus where like a lot of people would say, oh, if you depicted this as like a heroin junkie trying to get money to get more heroin, you'd be like sort of disgusted in a sense. But with weed, it's sort of like, oh, it's just a joke, it's funny, look at the desperation, they're
Right.
just a stoner. It's like, yeah, but they're also like completely addicted to this thing that's like dysregulating them even more than they are, because like she's already clearly an ADHD privy like person, so of course she's gonna smoke cannabis because it quietens the mind and like puts you in a daze. That's why ADHD people love it. But it's actually
Mhm.
the cannabis. I think the message of the film for me was like it's about, not about how cannabis makes you. Cannabis doesn't make you make poor decisions. You're already a poor decision maker, and that cannabis can amplify that. And that's where you can have people like stoners who just don't do anything for their whole lives, and they just sit around and like eat. I
Uh-huh.
don't know what was the thing she was on. What was the snack she was on about? Toledo's or something, like some American
Tostitos. Yeah.
Tostitos. Like holy fuck.
Corn chips. And
Yeah.
that guy, her professor who was a Marxist had the corn framed,
Oh yeah.
uh corn on the cob framed. She's like, corn chips are made from corn.
Another funny
That
thing
was
about the government marijuana is like it's sort of a critique of, there's a little sly critique of just the ludicrous like lunacy of the fact that like, oh, there is government marijuana, oh, it's the marijuana that's okay because it's government licensed, versus the marijuana you get on the streets, which is because back in this was a cool case study, like or time warp, this film for me, like a case study of like the 2000s, because like this is not the world we live in anymore. Like we live in a pro stoner society, don't we? Versus back then, even 2007, which is like not that long ago. Um, watching this film, it felt like I was being thrown back into like, I don't know, Reagan era
time
fucking eight.
capsule.
It's like Reagan era 80s. Like
Reaganomics.
if you Reaganomics, yeah, he says that, doesn't he? He's like, if you smoke the spliff, son, you won't be able to work, and it's like fucking.
Yeah, it was much more of a, what's the word I'm looking for? There's a specific word I'm trying to think. Not stigma around it. Maybe a stigma around it, but yeah, but around weed, like weed was treated as something like heroin back in the day. Like you had to be afraid of it. But now, if you like a movie like that, it just doesn't. That's the thing. I think it would have affected me more back in the 2000s if I would have watched it, and I was like, my age now.
Mm.
But yeah, just seeing that as like, I got government weed. Like now you could just buy government weed at the dispensaries around here, you could just go in the store and get it. But back then it was like, man, I was saving this for, an emergency or like a special occasion. But yeah, just buying government weed and everyone is like treating you like this big drug addict or something. Now weed is just so normalized like alcohol at this point.
Yeah.
So yeah, that was
She,
crazy to see that.
the type of person she is isn't uncommon in society anymore. This is like an actual normal person. They're not just like the trope. They're not like the stoner guy or the stoner girl. I must say that this is the ultimate stoner comedy for girls. By the way, like that's another thing I loved about the fact that it was from a girl's perspective. Made it
Right, it's usually a dude.
way more. It was way more unique. And also that's great. What I like about Gregg Araki is he's a brilliant case studying like positive representation of like LGBTQ plus people. He has been for a very long time, and not in LGBTQ plus, but just like but like diversity. It's a good example of diversity.
Right.
And yeah, to see it from a female's perspective, like she's obviously obsessed with like. She just wants something more out of life, doesn't she? She wants to be an actress, doesn't she? And she keeps returning to that idea that she's going to be an actress. Well, she was an actress, wasn't she? At the beginning, she does like commercials, but she wants to be a
The
proper
root beer
actress.
commercial.
Yeah, that was it. And then she's got all these ambitions, and then this was what I took from the film. I thought it was quite deep because it says a lot about the stoner mentality. Is like all stoners of oftentimes when you meet them, and I can say this because not only ever met them, I've also had this perspective myself. Is like your ambition will clash with your inability to function because of like your cannabis usage and also like your brain chemistry. And it's not trying to say that cannabis is stopping her from doing it, but it's like her relationship with cannabis is not helping her achieve things versus you can actually interface with cannabis quite like consciously, a la, I don't know, the Beatles, John, or whatever, like artists in the past who've used cannabis to make good stuff, but cannabis is like worsening her ADHD brain. And
Yeah.
it's good that the film doesn't portray her as lazy. It just says that like she's just chronically fucking derailed from life.
Yeah. Yeah, from the weed, and she's a really big stoner, and saying like it was funny that they said you're getting stoned at 9:45 in the morning. I'm thinking to myself like that's just like a regular time to get stoned. I don't know, like
but
people get stoned way earlier than that.
Yep, and you can do it even easier now because of like it's not just about like back in the
The
day.
weed pen.
Yeah,
Can you imagine a dab pen now in this movie? Like
yeah,
how things would change?
yeah. That's the thing about vapes and stuff is the convenience of it is like you can literally just wake up and like, oh, I'm just gonna go on my weed pen immediately. You don't have to like wake up and roll a spliff and then go outside. It's like that's a bit more like it's more, I don't know, wholesome doing that, I guess, because it's like a ritual. You go outside, get some fresh air. If you've got the weed pen, it's like, oh, just wake up. We just woke up from a cheese coma, man, and like you're just smashing the pen again, and it's like you're constantly stuck in this like THC whirlwind, and that's what this movie is like a THC whirlwind of consequences. Uh,
Yeah.
fucking. The more I talk about it, the more I think it's actually very, even though it's a very funny, simple movie, which I really liked because you do not see films like this anymore, like just concept films.
No.
You don't see concept films like these anymore, really, do you? And like this was a big release from a big director.
Right. I had no idea about it though before, but yeah, he's a big guy apparently, and
Mm.
he's got a movie coming out later in July called I Want Your Sex, and it has Olivia Wilde and Philip Seymour Hoffman's son Cooper, and
What?
then
Really? That's crazy.
yeah, Cuba Gooding Jr.'s son too. Got a lot of nepotism. Johnny Knoxville's in the movie too. Oh, I gotta see this.
Oh,
And
I forgot to mention this on the last podcast. You'll find this really interesting. I wish I mentioned it because my friend that I went to watch Obsession with, he's I'm really blurry on the details. I'll have to get back onto him. But I think his mum used to work for Philip Seymour Hoffman as like his cleaner,
oh wow.
like yeah, in one of his like estates or something in somewhere in the world, and his mum, I believe it's his mum, worked for him, and she supposedly slept with him. I don't know if he's pulling my leg because if he is, I'm just like,
That's like
oh,
a very specific actor to say though. Like if it was like
I
Samuel
know.
L. Jackson or like Hugh Jackman, I'd be like, yeah, right. But Philip Seymour Hoffman,
It's one
that's
of
I can
them.
believe.
It's one of them just weird little things about life that like I'm like it's so surprising that I think it's actually true, and it just came about because I mentioned to him he's a big film buff, and I said to him, "Oh, Philip Seymour Hoffman's like probably my top three." And he's like, "Mate, my fucking mum shagged Philip Seymour Hoffman when she used to work for him." I was like, "Are you having a laugh?" So that just
What if that was his stepdad actually, or his real dad? I
That's
mean,
that's what I kept. Whenever we watch a film with Philip Seymour Hoffman in, I'm like, "Oh, look, it's your dad, mate." And he's like, "Yeah, no."
that'd be insane. He should get like a DNA test or something.
It's fucking mad.
That's funny. But let me see. Let me. I had to say something about. Okay, I wanted to say this part because I don't know if you noticed that. I wrote down in the beginning. I tried more to write down a lot of stuff I was coming out and
Yeah,
putting in my notes. But in the beginning, after when they're getting started, I was talking about the letter thing. How we got from A to Z because that was the big thing. Um, and it was what I thought was a really creative shot, and it was definitely purposeful. Was is how did I get here? And then it cuts to the letter A, and then it zooms out of a keyboard. And on a keyboard, the letters are scrambled to a QWERTY keyboard. So I thought that was really interesting because the letters aren't in order there; they are all out of order. So like that shot was I thought was very purposeful as a way that we're about to find this convoluted story and we're about to put it together. I don't know if you noticed that or if you picked
no,
up on that,
no,
but
I
I thought that
actually
was really interesting.
no, no, I didn't. That's no, that's cool that you picked up on that because I think this is again the beauty of like watching movies and talking to people about it is because your your brain and like well your consciousness is wired up to pick up on certain parts of life more than other people, and it like certain parts of movies will stick out to you more because you resonate with them. Or you're paying attention more so in that moment. But yeah, that's cool that you said that because I think I like I might have phased out. I mean, I was probably fucking intoxicated on the THC, but I
It
had
was
to.
it was pretty much right in the beginning, yeah, when they start her story basically.
The
So yeah,
problem with me watching the film while stoned, I was like 10 minutes in last night. No, this morning. And I thought I was like, fuck, this makes it more interesting, the fact that I'm like inducing this state to talk about, but it also means I'm going to actually become as dopey as she is because it really impairs your memory, cannabis. I've noticed.
right.
It doesn't, I don't, it like, it doesn't make you stupid. It just sort of like puts you into like a daze and a daydream. It means like you can't
A
process.
distraction, a
Yeah,
constant you're distracted by yourself, like
yeah.
you're distracted by everything around you.
Another thing about a cannabis that's interesting in this film, where like I guess back in the day, yeah, even we're talking like we're beyond Reaganomics, fucking Nixonomics, where like they thought that cannabis was hallucinogenic for everybody, which I think it can be hallucinogenic for some people, but they made out cannabis out to be in the same vein as say like well fucking like they basically try to make it out to be like Datura back in the day, and
Right.
and some films would have that where like they smoke a joint and they start hallucinating, like actually tripping, and how you would classically on like I don't know, well yeah, like a delirium. But in this one, it was very accurate to the feeling of being stoned, where it's like it was all psychological. Like there's so much like internal dialogue like that she's having with like the narrator, which was very funny. The narrator's amazing, and just the way she
Yeah,
like
who is the narrator? I'm about to look it up, but
Y-
go ahead. Sorry.
Yes, yeah, yeah. Please do because I hear his voice. He's like the voice of like the 2000s in films,
Yeah.
isn't he? He's like, "Oh, well, she's going to make sure she gets very stoned today." What is this fucking? I love that sort of like
Yeah.
the inflection on the voice. That it was awesome.
Oh, Roscoe Lee Brown, that's who they were, yeah,
Is
they
that who
they
it is?
mentioned that.
Mm,
Yeah, so he was in Epic movie too, that makes sense, because I remember him from that, that's so funny.
mm.
But go ahead.
Yeah, I was looking up as well, just the cultural impact of the film as well, and seeing how people see it today. And I found this Guardian article on it. They've like reevaluated it, and I say I can see this being like I think at the time it came out, I don't know if it was like a flop, but it was a big move for a big director. But I don't think it was like a massive success. But this will have a huge cult following amongst stoners because I reckon Kino savvy stoners will recognize this as like one of the more nuanced stoner type films because it's just depicting kind of the experience of being stoned as it is. It's not trying to say it's bad or good. It's like this is just how it is and how and I think that nuance is why people are like reevaluating it over time, seeing it as more like psychologically accurate portrayal of cannabis
Yeah.
versus the like ridiculousness of other films that have cannabis in them, where they're like fucking seeing flying elephants, man.
Right, and they did in the intro. That was just, I think, with the very trippy visuals, that was purposefully made for the stoners who came to watch that movie in theaters. I know for a fact, or like after getting on DVD, because I was just thinking like, damn, this is tripping me out. But I could just imagine like them being super high. I'm sure it was nice for you to watch that. You're probably like so intrigued in it.
Yeah,
But
yeah.
like being or tripping on something like, because I'm sure people have tripped balls and watched that movie too. But just that opening, that would have, yeah, that would have got me. But yeah, and then, her being afraid of the cops and like making it way worse than it had to be. Like she could have not been arrested that whole time, and also stealing the Communist Manifesto by Karl Marx too, and then all of the papers flying down, falling wherever she was at. I thought that was a funny touch to it too.
The um
Uh, yeah.
the communist and Marxist references in the film, I was trying to obviously I thought it was just at first I was like, oh, it's just funny, isn't it? It's just a funny thing to put in the film, but it became like some type of motif that kept occurring throughout the film, and I was just trying to think about like, how that relates to being a stoner. I guess like I
I
mean
think it was the selling the weed because she was mentioning, to the dealer that, he
mm,
was trying to say that he wasn't a capitalist, but he still was. So I think
mm.
that had something to do with it a little bit. But
Mm.
sorry, go ahead.
Yeah, oh no, I fully get that the actual like plot device of it. But I was thinking about like the what's it trying to say? Like what's it trying to say about like society and by featuring the Communist Manifesto, he probably has his own opinions on it. And I thought there was like some symbolism in it by the end where like she's carrying this book that's like the supposed like Bible for how to make a society from the communist Marxist perspective. So it's like
Yeah.
you carry. It's like she was carrying the weight of like fucking the civilization while barely being able to like function as a normal human being in capitalist society. I was like, what's that trying to say? Is it? I don't know. I just thought it was quite funny. There's a good. It's sort of trying to it's poking fun at stoners in the most light possible way. It's not trying to say like, oh, you're irresponsible or you're lazy or anything, but it's saying that like maybe if you did take a step back and like perceived your life with a wider like lens, you would probably think that maybe like spending all your money on cannabis and smoking it all day, every day is probably like not in your best interest. But because it feels so good, you don't care.
Yeah.
Which is fair enough. It's completely understandable because I was a stoner myself, and it again going back to South Park, it just makes you fine being bored, doesn't it? Like if you have this shitty job or whatever, you're basically just looking forward to getting home and smoking a joint and unwinding, and it's fair enough because like yeah, life's hard and not everyone has good job opportunities. But this film was sort of it was a satirization of the every stoner eventually gets sick of like doing a shit job because stoners I think naturally have like interesting minds anyway. So the more likely to get into the arts. But how are you going to get in the arts when you're working fucking doing commercial acting is like the lowest form of art, isn't it?
Yeah. Yeah. Yeah, I think so, and I think, with the portrayal of the stoner by Anna Faris. I mean, like I said before, she did a really good job because she had to act, and also with the different types of, like, she was trying to get that other role in the audition.
Mm.
Oh, I also wanted to mention that it was funny that you were, when you were saying you get stoned, you get distracted, and I was gonna say that like her audition, like she was gonna forget about it unless they called her. And it was funny because like you got it would be funny to like make that into real life. Like you get
Mm.
too stoned, and I got to remind you, hey, we got a podcast at 6 p.m. or 11 p.m. I thought. I just thought I'd mention that because that would be funny. Just another meta thing that we could bring into the real world.
Yeah, yeah,
Uh,
yeah. It was touching upon very relatable like consequences of being stoned a lot to the nth degree, and I thought the audition scene was funny because of all the other things like she's put so much weight and energy and gravity into like this audition, and it's going to be the thing that saves her life, and like she overdoes it, doesn't she? Like she fucks it because
yeah,
she can't communicate coherently because she's so blazed, but she needs to get blazed to like do the audition because I mean the stoner mindset is like you'll just do everything blazed, won't you? Like, oh, this will make me, I'll do this and it'll be even better because I'll be blazed. And not only will I feel good, I'll also be more, because then stoners develop, and I did this as well. You can develop like this toxic sort of like narrative about how cannabis is like, well, it's fucking opening my mind, man, like spreading my awareness, my perception. And it's like, yeah, it can do that, but like when you're on it all the time, actually, it's decreasing your consciousness, not raising it. And that's why. And then it's no wonder she's stoners can sometimes feel like a bit of a victim, where they're like, oh well, society, man, the society's fucked me up. And it's like, well, sometimes you take a fucking look in the mirror. And funny enough, she does take a look in the mirror later on. I can't remember what she says though. Yeah, but it was funny. I was like, there's always going to be a mirror scene, like in drug movies. They always go to the mirror because it's like the mirror represents like ultimate self reflection, doesn't it? Like, what am I doing with my life?
right. Yeah. And she, it's and the way her mind was like working in it and everything, like she what's his name? Greg Araki
Gregg Araki.
or Greg Araki. Yeah, he like I said before, I think he has to have a lot of experience in it because he definitely got it down to a T with the realism of it because like you said before, a lot of this stuff is a lot of movies they just like don't do a good job
Mm.
with it and there's some out there that do a really good job and Adam mentioned the scene from Midsummer, and that I was gonna say that exact word that always goes through my head with that one because they did a really good job. Ari Aster explaining like on mushrooms and how like the visuals look, how the flower petals were spinning and everything, how it's like a little subtle but you notice it, and
Yeah,
sometimes it's very very strong, and then the things you say and freaking out and stuff. And here it's like it's just everything with getting way too high. You just like everything's happening around you, but like you're still trying to figure out like you're still stuck on the one thing. Like there's millions of things going on, but your brain can only process one of it at a time.
mm,
That's how I kind of see it. Like you're gonna get it. It's gonna take a while until you come down and you can like when you're sober you could finally get back to what you got to do. But I think she just smokes all the time.
yeah.
But
And it's like, did
yeah.
did 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 she learn anything by the end of the film, or is it's sort of like a bittersweet ending where it's like, oh well, you know what? Actually, almost this positive thing about it where it's like, yeah, you know what? She is absolutely flat out on weed all the time, but you know what? She at the end of the film, she's enjoying doing community service, isn't she? Like, she's a cheerful
She was
like.
having a great time,
Yeah,
yeah.
because she wanted to do something different, and it's like when they make her do community service, like she has no idea like the gravity of like what she's done. She's like, oh cool, yeah, I get to do something now and like help people out because like and it's like almost ignorance. It's a statement on like ignorance is bliss, isn't it? Where
Uh-huh.
it's like, oh, if you are gonna like do a shitty job, at least help yourself enjoy it where cannabis can come in, and that's why it comes into so many people's lives. But it can get you stuck. That's the problem. I think that's the thing where it's saying in the film. It's like cannabis is not the problem. She's the problem because she doesn't have like a healthy relationship with it. She's just it's an obsession, isn't it? And she's so attached to it, and it's tearing her life down. But it's also the foundations of her life. It's fucking hard to actually like quit cannabis like completely when it's been like the framework of your life, big time.
Right. Yeah, it is. It's got to be treated like a drug, like all the other ones. It's definitely And the thing with like with weed, it's like if you smoke it, that's still harmful to your lungs, no matter what you ingest. Like, and especially with who knows, what they're spraying on it, like the pesticides. I mean, we in America, you got to worry about that on the food, but like just in weed, you don't know what you're putting inside your body, and it could be laced sometimes, but. That and those pens, those carts, those can definitely be laced, and I need to do another video on that actually. But yeah, I'd like to see a Smiley Face too that involves like really strong dab carts. That would be really funny.
Mm.
Uh,
Yeah,
but
you could do another type. You could do I wouldn't say do a sequel to it. Like someone else, some other creative person should make a Smiley Face inspired movie, but for like the post 20,
modern day,
yeah, the post 2020s world of like decriminalization, medical cannabis, and the work, the culture that it currently exists in, especially like even on YouTube. Like, do you ever remember this guy? I don't know, like, because obviously you say you're not never massively, you weren't massively into weed, but do you remember like Custom Grow 420? It was like, "What up, YouTube? It's Custom Grow 420 here," and it's just him like smoke.
no, I'm not.
Oh, look him up when you can. It's an interesting little rabbit hole. Not that there's anything crazy, but it's just like he
What
was
is his name?
Custom Grow 420, and
Custom Grow 420. Okay.
he's been doing YouTube for a long time, and me and my friends, when we was big on the Stoner Arc, we used to watch him loads because it's just some American guy like doing mad bong hits and seeing pushing the limits of how much you can fry your brain with THC. It's quite amusing, but he was a pioneer for like doing cannabis like on YouTube versus back in the day where like that would just get taken down immediately, and now
Right.
the lines have blurred now. Like, I mean, I'm cautious about like saying stuff like I was cautious before. I was like, should I mention that I'm under the influence of THC because I'm like it's different. I don't know. It's weird. YouTube's strange, isn't it? Because like 1 minute it's like, oh, it's completely fine for Custom Grow 420 to smoke fucking bare doobies on live stream, and then we make a video about I don't know fucking. I got my first age restricted video the other day, first ever of all
Oh
time.
wow.
Yeah, of all time, and I know you and like someone that's no one have had that before, and it happened to me. Which one was it? I think it was stimulants. It was my stimulant trip report compilation, and
Uh,
I was like, oh, did that tickle them the wrong way? It's like what out of all the fucking hundreds and hundreds of videos I've released over the years, and like that one, it's like, nope, the word stimulant, we don't like that. It's like, what the fuck?
yeah.
It's
Yeah,
like, what's
I've
it?
been paying attention to their new policies and everything, like with inhalant stuff. I'm not gonna be doing that,
Oh,
unfortunately.
why? What did they say?
Well, they're like they're like really cracking down on like, huffing things. So like anything with nitrous or just because they don't like I just don't want to do anything involved. It wasn't any of my videos, but they just sent out, a
Right.
notice months ago, and I'm like, yeah. So if people have been wondering where inhalant videos are, I'm like, yeah. So it's just not. I'm probably not gonna be making any unless I can like get away with it doing like naming it something else. It sucks because those are like one of some of the greatest videos, and they get the most views, and people love them, and it's very like it brings awareness to the topic because it's very dangerous. But I can see why that would be something. Same with like Benadryl, of course, that makes a lot of sense too. So yeah, the salvia, I still can't understand that one. I really want to do a salvia video, but I can't risk it. I don't know.
Well, it's interesting because like my salvia videos are all fine in terms of
Hmm.
visibility, and also my salvia is my favorite substance to explore because it's so out there and alien like.
Right.
But I think that yeah, YouTube has no idea what it's okay with and what it's not. It's completely jumbled up their idea of like what's monetizable and what isn't, and what can even be viewed like regardless of monetization. Yeah, in the future they really need to just fucking like they need to just lay out the ground rules and then never change them because they keep changing them. It's like 1 minute you think you're safe doing like fringe type content because it's not just drugs, is it? It's like
Yeah.
other other people who do like true crime and like horror stuff, like in that Discord that
Yeah.
we were in with them other YouTubers, and they
Uh-huh.
suffered so much with like visibility issues because like what they're doing is like purely educational, but like if YouTube sees something that's like oh brutal or graphic or harrowing, it just immediately interprets it as like gratuitous and not educational, and which is a fucking problem because like this is actual like peak education.
Right, right. You're learning a lot, learning how to, the warning signs if you're ever in a bad situation, that
Mm,
you got to be careful. And really the people that do these things, it's like that's on them. Like there's nothing, that's the choice of those people, but the fact that we're helping people out there and yeah, and with true crime, giving the warning signs of like, if there's the warning signs of trafficking, like what to do, if there's like if someone like a man asks for help about their dog, like that's stuff we need to know.
mm.
So
We gotta
I don't
know.
know, yeah, I gotta know, I gotta fucking know. So you want to go?
What do you have any other thoughts on the film? I've pretty much encapsulated it. Like I think it's a solid film. It's good fun. I'm glad I watched it. I probably wouldn't have watched it if it wasn't for this special occasion, I must say, because like
Um,
I was only in, and but the way it had a lot of like I had a lot of things going for it that I knew I'd enjoy. I like the cast already. I've not actually seen her in anything. I don't think the main actress is it Anna Faris? Yeah.
yeah, Scary Movie 6 just came out. What are you talking about? You didn't see Scary Movie 6? How could you? The greatest movie of this year.
Well, hey,
Yeah.
I'm kino blind nowadays. No, I've only what oh shit. Oh shit, yeah, it's fucking. She plays fucking is it Cindy? Whatever it is.
Yes.
Yeah. Oh yeah. What the fuck? Um. Yeah, I knew I
So she's
recognised
a
somewhere.
she's a golden comedic actress. Like there's nothing wrong with her in this in the latest Scary
Mm.
movie, but
Oh
it
my
was
god,
just the whole movie in
she was
general.
in
But
this. She was in this film. I don't know if you've seen it, but I know YMS loves it as well. Like, this is a great video of his back in the day, and it really inspired me. It's like 10 horror. The video's like 10 horror movies that are actually good. Back when like horror movies were
oh,
crap.
I've seen that. Yeah.
And one of them was May, that 2000s film about the girl who's
Mm.
got like
It's in my watch
traumatized.
list. Yeah.
And Anna Faris is in that. I forgot. Yeah, that's a really good like.
Oh wow.
One thing, my closing thoughts on the film, just vibes wise, because I'm a very vibes type person, especially when you fucking stone can't. I was just loving the vibes, the aesthetic, and just I just love the 2000s aesthetic is just so is bizarro. It's like I mean, I grew up in the 2000s, so I remember it and everything. I mean, I didn't live in America, but I was like exposed to this like wider culture as a kid, and I remember like
Yeah.
how people used to even dress like in the UK, and it's just so strange. It was a strange era, the 2000s, especially 2007, where like it's because the 2000s as a cult, like as an aesthetic, and as like yeah, cultural thing. It was like trying to cling on to the 90s in a sense. It's like, oh, it's like the 90s 2.0, like the late 90s 2.0 instead of being like its own thing. And I think ever since the 2000s, culture has been so confused, like where it feels like the 90s like peaked in terms of style and aesthetic, in terms of films and music and just everything going on. And then the 2000s was like, yeah, we'll do that, but again, it's like post grunge, and it's like,
Yeah.
oh, it's like the Matrix, but not. And I think that's the beginning of where like we started fucking like try to like reboot the past over and over and over again because we thought that we peaked. And I think that's a psychological phenomenon of like what is it Y2K and everything. Like this
Hmm.
is a mad rabbit hole I'm going down. But
Yeah, you're good.
to relate it back to the film, the fact that it was made in 2007, but it felt like it was made in the mid 90s because that's where like the Doom generation was made. Gregg Araki's probably the
Yeah.
most famous film, which I'm not actually a big fan of, to be honest. I think it's very boring, but it's got good vibes. Like it just looks good, it feels good, and it's got like that.
Okay.
It's got that weird, like it's almost a bit like cringe, but in a good way because the 2000s was full of cringe, but it was like I don't know, it's just wholesome versus the cringe of today, which is embarrassing.
Yeah, yeah, I noticed that with the with how it felt like it was late 90s, early 2000s, because to it I would and like with the technology too, like I know flip phones were still like new things, so just seeing that just added to it. But yeah, with the way it was shot, like it definitely felt like a late 90s, early 2000s movie. It really, really did.
Mm.
But yeah, last thing I want to point out about it was I don't know if you noticed this, but that kid that was on the bus that she destroyed that car, that toy car.
Mm.
That was Neville Papperman from iCarly, and he was in Drake and Josh too when they destroyed his treehouse. So I think that was definitely taken from that, or either one was before because he does the same kind of crying, and I thought that was interesting. I'm like, dang, that's it's all connected there. But yeah, uh, I enjoyed it. I give it a 3.5 out of 5. Some people need to get used to my ratings though, because people are thinking that 3.5 is a low rating. It is not. I think that's a good solid rating for a film, like something that I enjoyed. It just didn't strike with me like movies that are like 4 or above, So, for
Yeah.
me, a 3 is just, enjoyable enough. It was okay, but anything below that is I'm not a big fan of. So, 3.5 I think is a good rating for it. Maybe it'll go up, most likely just stay the same though. So,
Yeah, yeah, I agree with that point about ratings. I always think about this. I think this is a phenomenon of I call it the IGenification of like rating stuff like that site IGN, and it's like
mm,
independent games network or something. One of the most famous game reviewing publications. It's sort of like
of
the
course,
normie go to place, and they do everything now. But they are very
gay. No.
yeah, y'all are gay. No, they're
Oh
very
my gosh, I love IGN.
yeah. They're very liberal about throwing 10 out of 10s and 9s out of 10s at everything that's just like good. Like their idea of a 10, like 9 and 10 out of 10 is like just something that I would say is just good. Like a 7 out of 10, which is, oh, I just enjoyed that. It was good. It didn't strike a chord with me massively, but I enjoyed watching it. It was fun. Not something I'd usually watch or consume. So that's what I would consider a 7, and then like a 6 out of 10 is like, oh yeah, it was decent, but I wasn't massively like invested. And then a 5 is just like I feel nothing, and then a 4
Yeah.
and a 5 and below, like 4, 3, 2, 1. Like I don't even know what the fuck that means, man. Like how do you even numerically assign that to something? But I guess you could in your head, because a 1 for me is like the same as like a 5 star, because a 1 out of a 5 film is the worst thing you've ever seen, to the point of it becoming like a masterpiece, like The Room or fucking The Wicker Man or stuff like that, which I think are amazing because it's so bad.
Right. Yeah. I see ratings as yeah I use the whole scale. 5 is a masterpiece. I found nothing wrong with it. If there is something wrong, it'd be very tiny. But mostly it's perfect to me, and the rewatch value has to be very high too with the
Yeah,
5. But yeah, ones, I gave Iron Lung and Scary Movie 6 a 1. But they could be a half star. They were bad.
yeah.
Um,
Like for me, I think like a 5 is some. If a 5 for me is like a Marvel movie where like I acknowledge that there's a lot of effort and it's competent, and like there is actually a lot of talent and creativity in it. It just doesn't. It just makes me feel nothing. It's a nothingness simulator. And not in
mhm.
not in a good way. It's just just moving images with no like resonance, and that's like a mid movie. They're the worst movies. Like a bad movie, anything that's bad is automatically going to be good in some context. Like I like when we're talking with Adam, and when he said that the best way to appreciate movies is again is put on something that's actually legitimately like really terrible, and then watch something that's peak straight after, and you'll appreciate little bits that you take for granted, like yeah, set design, well, casting, ADR, like fucking mastering the volume levels, which you do take for granted. You just take as a given, but these are all things that have to be fine tuned. And yeah, I would say for this film, I'd give it a low 7. Like it's bordering on a 6, because it's just a nice watch that I won't watch again. Like you say, rewatch value is like I've consumed this film now. Like I got it. I got the picture. I won't go back. Versus
You're the cinephile. You got it in there. You got it, and you have that bragging right now.
ladies
I
and
watched
gentlemen,
Smiley Face, and you didn't.
we got him. But yeah, it's true. It's true though that I had this. I was looking up before actually. This ties into what I was saying. before about like stoner movies. There aren't any now because I feel like this pot when this movie came out, like the late 2000s was like an inflection point where this movie, whilst it was like it's very progressive for the time, because but even so, at the time, 2007, like eventually we're going to see social media and YouTube pop up, which is a huge component for making weed like decriminalized, I think, especially in America, because it's just like blatantly obvious that the plant is not as dangerous as like the Dare programs fucking made it out to be. But
Right.
you actually look and like stoner comedies, there hasn't been one. There hasn't been one since like Smiley Face that's considered like I mean, Pineapple Express was the last one that came out in like
Yeah.
2008, and then that's it. That is over. Like it's almost like the genre's been done. It's like what else can you do with it? But I think you could do more stuff with it. You could actually like explore it in like an interesting way with like the current world where like we're so pro cannabis that it's almost toxic. I would say.
Right. Yeah, they're not making big ones anymore. And it's like hard to because yeah, the stigma around it is just not the same. Oh, I guess they put The Night Before on here with Joseph Gordon-Levitt, Seth Rogen and Anthony Mackie. I remember I saw that movie a few times in theaters when I was younger.
Oh,
That
I've
was
not seen
definitely
that.
a stoner movie. Yeah, I'll give that a 3 because it was
Joseph Gordon-Levitt is the main character in Mysterious Skin.
Mysterious Skin.
Yeah,
Yeah, yeah,
yeah.
he hasn't been in a lot of movies recently. I've noticed. So he must have just left.
Mm.
And there's a movie I've been trying to watch. I haven't gotten into it yet. I've tried to watch it like 3 times. It's 10 Things I Hate About You, and he's in it with
Oh.
Heath Ledger, and I just haven't gotten to finishing it, but I need to see the rest of it.
For me, that's like a movie you watch with your girlfriend, and I would not consume just off my own back. I remember
Okay.
I've only ever watched that with like past partners. It's just one of them. It's like teen romantic comedies. Like it's good. It's good
But it
because
has a really good rating though. It has like a 4.1 on Letterboxd.
yeah, people love that movie. I just like. I thought it was all right. It just didn't like massively speak to me. But the thing is with those films, if they don't speak to me, I'm not bothered because I just love the 2000s, 1919, like late 1990s aesthetic. It does something for my brain. I know some people actually don't like that aesthetic, and everyone's looking back on like those films like American Pie and the sort of the peak like fucking Kid Rock sort of like culture, and they dismiss it. And I don't know. I've always found it to be like very stylistic and very expressive versus today where everything's like so fucking minimal and like digital looking
Yeah.
that it's I fucking some of these films that come out and are just on TV or go on Netflix, man, like fucking Netflix, what even is that shit? I was on it the other day and I just saw just like random new programs or like come out for like fucking normies, and they just look awful. Like the digital, like, it looks so realistic that it's not. Like there's no style.
Right.
It's I hate that fucking minimalist style unless it's done really well. Like June. Like June is great minimalism. Like looks
I still
amazing.
need to see them. I need to see those movies because I know the third one's coming out later this year. So
The
yeah, I need to
spice
watch them.
must flow. Yeah, you'll like them. If you like sci-fi, fantasy, and
I
epic.
love Denis Villeneuve, so you know he's one of my favorite
Oh, good
directors.
stuff on him.
I haven't seen a bad movie by him. I need to see Arrival too because that's always been on my list. And Sicario, I watched the beginning of. I need to see that
He's
still.
interesting because like he started off making these like really sort of like brutal like fucking dramas, didn't he?
Prisoners, yeah, Incendies, I need to see as well. That's on my list. It's
Yeah,
on
that's
Tubi.
that Incendie is it's in French, isn't it?
Incendies, I monsieur. Oui, oui, oui.
It's interesting to see him like go from sort of well-made smaller budget films to like he's the guy he's like no, not Spielberg, he's like the George Lucas of the minute, the sci-fi epic geezer, because I mean fucking hell, Blade Runner 2049 is
Oh
one
man.
of the best films ever made, and when that film came out, I remember when I went to watch it, and I was like, I'm always really skeptical of Hollywood all the time, and
Mhm.
I was like, oh fuck, that this was at the beginning of all the fucking. It was 2017 was the beginning of let's literally reboot and reimagine everything because we can't
Right.
come up with any new ideas, and I think
Yeah.
that film. Maybe perhaps it flopped because maybe other people were feeling that, and actually that one was it was the exception to the rule because I actually think Blade Runner 2049 is better than the original Blade Runner. I think it's like a deeper
Yeah.
movie. Yeah, I think it's
Hmm.
better made as well, better made. But Blade Runner's peak vibes. Like I don't give a fuck like about the flaws of Blade Runner, the first film. It's just peak vibes for me. Like I love cyberpunk, but 2049 was just like is
It's an
emotional.
upgrade in every way, and it's just for me, it's personal preference at that point. Like I have no problem with you saying that 2049 is better because a lot of people think that too. It's just the first one has so much, place in my heart, and
Mm,
I just love the soundtrack. I think is the one thing that really
yeah,
is better still because Vangelis did a wonderful job with that, and then Jared Leto has to knock off at least 20,000 points. No, I'm kidding. But that was actually a good role
I
for him in
fucking,
that movie.
I fucking,
Surprising.
I fucking love him in that movie. He's so good. It's his best performance he's ever given. I can't think of any other character who could have played. Yeah, the boss man of the replicant
Yeah.
company. It's just it's brilliant. This is another thing about like some people. I've never had this problem about separating the art from the artist. Like unless he's like literally shit art and he's a shit cunt, like he's an actual dickhead and he
Yeah.
doesn't make good
Yeah.
shit. Then it's like fuck them. But I don't give a fuck about Jared Leto's like personal life. Like, I can appreciate like the craft within like the frame of the movie and like what it meant for the movie. It's not about him. It's about like the art, isn't it? And but
Yeah.
some people can't disseminate that because they'll just see the guy and then they're like, oh, I've been triggered by everything I know about him. And I think that
Yeah.
that affects a lot of people I know nowadays who watch Requiem for a Dream and they see it for the first time like, oh, fucking Jared Leto's in it. Am I gonna have to put up with him for an hour and 20 minutes? And then you're like, oh wow, that was actually Pete Kino, and his performance is
Right.
amazing. Like he's clearly like,
Yeah, and American Psycho too. He was perfect for that
yeah,
role as well.
he's sick. He's sick. He's actually a good actor. Like,
Yeah, it's just when he tries way too hard in some player and Suicide Squad really amplified that. And Dallas Buyers Club, I thought he was pretty decent in too. But he's definitely not a bad actor. It's
no,
just
he's just got a
when
bad.
he's doing
He's
too
got a
much.
bad public persona because he has like this weird sort of like. If you look into Jared Leto, there's sort of this weird like, reverence of him being like this Jesus type character, and he like feeds into it a little bit, and even goes for the Jesus look, and yeah, there's this weird like idol worship of Jared Leto that he definitely feeds on. So that's a bit corrupt,
Hmm.
but. I can't like I can not forgive it, but like I can acknowledge that the guy
Look
like
past it.
people are very multi-layered, like people are multifaceted, and you can't just I don't know I just not I'm just not fucking like I just don't get triggered by stuff like that. Like I don't know. I just watch these films like people, Kevin Spacey films from the past. I don't condone what the guy does or says or is like, but I can watch Seven and be like, that's fucking amazing piece of art.
Right.
Like it's an amazing piece
Right.
of art that like he delivered. Like acting is an art, and it's fucking sick.
Yeah. It seems like the worse the person is, the better actor they are. That's
Yeah,
how it seems like to me.
maybe it's like yeah, the passion of being an evil person because evil people are very passionate. They're very passionate about their vices.
They're passionately macabre.
Yeah, it makes for good. It make for good actors. But yeah,
Yeah,
well, I don't really have much else to say about Smiley Face. It is good film. Glad we watched it, and it's also I'm glad that it's inspired us to like talk about drug movies because there's so many we could cover now from this point on. Like
for sure. For
and
sure.
many that we've probably seen before, but could like reevaluate, and then like new ones. Because there's just it's a great obscure. It's weird because like it's a popular like fake genre of movies, but
Mhm.
there's lots of famous movies within it, like some of the most famous movies ever, like Trainspotting and Requiem for a Dream, and like two of the most famous films of any genre, and they're both
Yeah,
drug centric movies.
right.
But then the rest of the drug movies are like not as artistic as them two, so they like pale in comparison. Like it's like they're always trying to like get to the point, get to the level of quality that those two do. But
Yeah.
there's value within like 6 and 7 out of 10 films. It's just like oh, this film made me think about cannabis like for this podcast, like
Mhm.
about like the psychological effects, societal consequences, and also the positives of cannabis as well. Um, because if it works for you, it's great, and is medicinal. It is a medicinal plant, and yeah, it was good this film did inspire some thought, so I'm glad it exists.
Yeah, I'm glad this movie exists too because it's, I'm glad I saw it. Like I said before, not it didn't change me or anything. It definitely, made me think about things, of course. But yeah, I didn't. I'm no different than I was, before watching this. I guess technically I am. We all are from when we wake up to, later in the day, or
Mm,
just as every second goes by, you're constantly changing infinitely forever. But in regards to like just not being literal about it, like no, I was not, I wasn't taken back by it. I wasn't, totally floored by anything. I was laughing at some points. I think they did a wonderful job at recreating what it's like to be super stoned and the process you have and all these things being thrown at you. I thought it was really good at that part. But regards to everything else, I wasn't, too big on it. Like I'm not gonna go back and want to rewatch this anytime soon. So I think 3.5, like I said, is a good score for it because I think it's a good movie to watch, and I think I would recommend it definitely to people who are definitely stoners. I think it would be fun that you guys can watch it, and
mm,
especially if you're tripping. I'd love to see like if you were on maybe like acid or something, if you were to put on something. I'm not condoning doing it or anything. I'm just saying, like, if you were to be on it, this is a movie I'd like to hear what someone's, viewpoint on it would be after. It might not be that different. I don't know. But because for me, I like to look at things like, introspectively and seeing, like, I'm more of a, like, what does that shot mean? Because I always think about David Chase. Like he didn't put a scene in Sopranos. Maybe like in the first season, first two seasons, he wasn't like he didn't, put a lot of focus into it as much as the later seasons. But I noticed like every shot has a purpose. Like these people film these shots. Like there's not just like throwaway scenes for a reason. There's reasons why these shots are made. And I guess some bad directors do things they just don't think about it. But a good director like this director, every shot is purposeful, and that's why I brought up the keyboard, which because I know definitely that was for that reason. At least that's what I would think. And with the way his mind works, and if I see more movies, I think that definitely was the reason why. So I like to look at things like that, and he did a good job with that for a stoner comedy to be that to feel that simple, but to also feel like there's more to the story. I thought that was impressive, but it didn't invoke. I didn't get a lot of things out of it like I would for a movie that would be higher rated for me. So I have to give it a 3.5, and maybe if I sit on it longer, but it's not one of those movies I think I'm gonna sit on like Session 9 that I finished over the weekend, which I
mm.
thought was really good after a little bit. And it's a movie I'm definitely gonna watch again because there's so much to it that I need to rewatch again because a lot of it you don't get from the first watch. And if you do, well then you're just a genius because there's just way too much going on. And the boring parts to it, I was like, damn, this is so boring. I'm falling asleep. I literally fell asleep watching it like twice. But once you get through it, I'm telling you, it is fantastic with what it does. I think some of it though, near the end, it's too in your face, which I'm not a big fan of in movies. Some movies you have to like say what's going on, but that a little bit near the end, they were kind of telling too much.
Mm,
Like, I mean, it wasn't too much, but like it was giving me more than I want. I wanted more. I mean, you're still trying to find answers, but I feel like they were showing a little bit too
yeah,
much there at the end. But yeah, I like to look and dive deep into those things. There's a
yeah,
bunch of
yeah.
videos on it. I just finished this 52-minute video on what this person missed on it. So yeah, that was very
Oh,
cool.
I do love that. That's always been one of my main interests, especially like very complex films. Is part of the fun is also knowing that when I finish the film and likely will not understand anything about it, I'm very much assisted by the internet and discourse surrounding the film and other people's perspectives, and it also helps me make my own perspective because like when I watch a film that's that complex, it's like my consciousness obviously absorbed it and has its own like it has like blurry ideas that can't be articulated, and then when I like put the pieces together
Yeah.
through like like online discourse and analysis, it allows me to get my own interpretation reading other people's interpretation instead of just like saying what they said, which is a lot of what I mean, that's a problem with the internet and reviewing and analyzing films in general. and all on YouTube. These like fucking, they're everywhere. Like 10-hour fucking analysis videos, of, like video games and movies and series. Where like back in the day they were really rare because that takes a lot of work, and like now people are like pumping them out somehow. God knows how they're doing it, but they're all just like saying the same fucking thing, man. Like even like the deepest like the artwork. I don't know. There's this like Silent Hill 2, probably the most analyzed and picked apart video game of all time. I would say in terms of like
Mm.
themes and like motifs and like symbolism. Um, I remember I watched this video recently. This guy, he's called Glint Gobstone. He does like mainly like Elden Ring, like strategy videos, and then occasionally he'll make some like really deep like analysis of a game. And he's got a Silent Hill 2 one, and it's the best one I've seen because, not just because the video is well made, but like he's saying like something original. And I realized when I watched that video, I was like, so many people on YouTube who just like review anything are just they're just like bullshitting through other people's like perspectives. Like they take someone else's perspective and like slightly twist it on the spot and present it as their own. And they're like, oh wow, I just said
Hmm.
something really original. It's like, no, you just literally just copy and like pasted and twiddled someone else's words and that. And so I always appreciate original like thinking surrounding films. That's why I love again Sardonicast, and that's why I've always had them as like my go-to like movie reviewer public figures, because they always have original ideas about these films, and they always talk about, it's not just like, oh, this film was good because it had good color grading and all the technicalities, which
Right.
like I love all that stuff about like that.
Yeah, it's a good thing, of course.
Like
Yeah.
you can, when you watch like Smiley Face, I appreciate the technicalities in an abstract manner. I wouldn't be able to tell you like the actual details of like, oh, this scene has this certain color grading, that and like the actual specificities. I'm more like the abstract of like, oh, the way this is colored that invokes this feeling within me. Like I'm more of like an abstract thinker about films, and that like I don't, sometimes I watch films and I have no idea like what happened in the plot, but because I liked the characters and I liked the atmosphere, I'll just give it like a fucking 10, like a 10 out of 10. Like I don't. Sometimes I don't care about the plot because like sometimes things can have a like the most multi-dimensional plot ever, and you've got like the most boring ass characters and shit script, and it's like, well, what's the point of having a good plot if you don't have like the added substance?
Right. So I wanted to ask you because I check out your letterbox all the time because I'm always on it.
Yeah,
You
you
know,
too. I'm always
become
I'm always looking at it.
it's it's become one of my favorite apps, especially now that I'm watching all these movies and I have the freedom to do so. But I wanted, because there's a movie in your favorites called Mary and Max. Is that
Oh.
like genuinely like one of the best films of all time in your opinion?
I wouldn't like, you know, when you say like there's best films of all time, there's like best films of all time subjective, and then like object, yeah,
Subjectively,
even though there's
yeah.
like Adam said, there's no object, and I agree, that's why I put that word objective in when we asked him that question, because I thought he'd pick up on that, and because I don't think there is like a fully objective idea of like what the best films are, what makes the best film,
Mhm.
because it's intertwined with subjectivity, anyway, because it is a subjective experiencing art. But in terms of, if you want to get like slightly not object, well, not object, but slightly more like logical about it, it is easily one of the greatest stop motion animated films of all time. And if you love stop motion and you like
Mhm.
you like dark stories with bittersweet like
Oh, it's
tragic
a
comedy,
dark story?
it's a I say it's like a tragic comedy. It's like one of the few films that makes me.
Oh,
It
okay.
is what the reason I rate that so highly is
Oh, it's on Disney Plus. My friend gave me his
lucky,
subscription.
we don't have it anywhere. Like I was saying, our streaming services and even like theaters in the UK are absolute fucking garbage.
Fucking messed up, mate.
I'll fucking
Gosh.
I'll fucking stab you, lad. Yeah, it's it's a beautiful film. It's a tragic comedy. It's one of the few films that like really actually makes me genuinely cry, and like every time I watch it, it makes me like,
Aw.
it makes well up. Yeah, I've always found I've always found like deep animation the most profound thing for me personally as like a consumer. Like it does really strike a chord with me. I've always loved animation, but the fact that you can make these literal inanimate objects, you breathe life into them, and you can imbue them with even more human, like believable emotions than like most films, but in a stylized way. Like that's just fucking,
Right.
that's like mad
And
shit, bro. Like that's like alchemy, brother. You're fucking breathing life into like nothingness.
And the voice acting too is a very important thing because some people are just like not good voice actors, but like if you really get you got to basically you got to act for real, you know, in it like there with your expressions since you can't physically do it. Like Bryan Cranston is an amazing visual actor. Like you
Yep.
can tell he invokes a lot of emotions just by looking at what he does, like either funny or very dramatic, like in Breaking Bad and Godzilla too. I think he does. I actually just watched the scene from Godzilla where he's being interrogated. I love that movie with him. I wish he didn't pass away so quickly in that movie, but yeah, and these voice acting roles they're very important. So it's good with that too. Like in that movie, of course, uh,
Mm.
Mary and Max.
Yes, you'll love it. It's a beautiful film. It just struck out to me. I remember again, fucking Adam, man. Like Your Movie Sucks has always just really inspired so many of like my favorite films. Getting into them because I remember the only reason I know about that film is I watched one of his like the Blu-ray collection videos ages ago, like 2013, when I was proper like really well, first really recognizing him as one of my favorite YouTubers, and he recommended that film. He said it was literally like literally one of the best films. He rates it like
Oh, he
if I
recommended it. Yeah, he gave it a 4.5. I'm on it right
yeah,
now.
it's one of them films, and like you're saying, rewatch value is insane because like the beauty
Oh,
of
Tony Collette is in it too, and
mm,
Philip Seymour Hoffman. I mean, he's in everything. You know, everything
yeah.
good. Okay, sorry, go ahead.
Yeah, it's crazy that Toni Collette plays Mary. I never noticed that before until recently. I thought
That's
it's just so,
crazy.
because it's an Australian film, is Mary and Max. It's by
Oh,
Adam.
it's Australian. Okay.
Yeah, because the girl Mary is autistic. She's an autistic girl who has a pen pal of an autistic guy
Mm,
in New York, who's played by Philip Seymour Hoffman, and obviously it massively resonated with me because the film's about like autism and like the struggle for connection in like a normie neurotypical world, and she finds it's
of
very it's
course.
so wholesome, and then Memoir of a Snail, also by Adam Elliott,
Yes, I need to see.
is like if I'm gonna get well autistic, like if you want to get numerical, it's like point 0.1 of a score below Mary and Max and me. It's like literally on the same level. That film
Oh
makes me
wow.
that film makes me cry as well. I think they've got this perfect balance of like bittersweet and like genuine tragedy. Really, really effective, and stop motion just looks awesome, and the craft is
It,
so respectable.
yeah, that looks it looks amazing. 'Cause I love stop motion films in general. Like Leica Studios, there. I think they got a
Yeah.
movie coming out this year
Leica
again.
Studios. Yeah,
They always
Coraline
make.
is Coraline's I remember when I watched that when I was younger, and so many people I've spoken to, that's like their favorite film. Um,
It's definitely in my it's my top four in my letterbox. Yeah, I've seen it hun I don't not 100 times of course, but I've seen it at least over 15.
I think that's the best stop motion film. Like personally, if I was gonna like get autistic and like objective quote unquote, like, I would say that's probably the best overall. For having seen many stop motion films, I'd say that that's the magnum opus. But Mary and Max is my favorite because it's like personally meaningful. Coraline is a
Right.
meaningful film for me, but it's a different type of movie. Like Coraline is like a world building epic, fun but classic. Like, but is it block? It feels like what a blockbuster should make you feel like. Like imbues you with energy.
Right.
It's taken to another
And it's
world. It's so good.
And it's quite terrifying too. Like I was always scared, not like scared, but like I got an eerie feeling from the other mother. Like and I also just read the book because I've always
Mm.
heard it was good, and it was a good book. But it wasn't like I was expecting it to be like terrifying because I watched so many videos analyzing Coraline and like did she actually really leave like the other world because at the end the cat disappears through the house sign and everything. So it's like I love listening to those theories on Coraline for a supposedly children's movie. That is so like cool to see, and it's creepy. And my mom loves it too. Like that
Yeah.
she's always like put on Coraline when we live together when I live with her. And yeah, so I love Coraline. It'll
Yeah.
always be with the rewatch value too. You could watch it all the time. Last time I
Oh yeah.
watched it was last year, I think. Yeah, last year, and then I watch it at least once a year. But
Yeah.
I saw it in theaters too in 2024. They re-released it, and I saw it in theaters when it came out originally in 2009. And it's just a movie that has aged gracefully with time. It has aged for me, and same with Little Miss Sunshine. That's a movie I watched when I was
So
younger,
good.
when I was a kid. You could watch it when you're a child, and all the like the adult parts, it's still consumable for a child because there's a child actress in it, Abigail Breslin, and she does a magnificent job in that movie. Everybody does such a good job, and that was my first introduction into Toni Collette. So, seeing her, the way she portrays a hardworking mother, and like the family dynamic in that film is like it's like a Malcolm in the Middle type thing where
Yeah.
it's like so realistic, like so like that's how most humans are in America. That's how most Americans are. They're not like, because someone brought up a good point. Like all these shows and movies nowadays, they're all these all these characters. They're in houses that are like mansions, and they have these open kitchens and everything is like so fancy, but like the Parasite house, like, but that was purposeful, of course, with that house. But like people are actually in, like, not most of the country, they're not in houses like that. The Little Miss Sunshine, that's how they are, and I just love that, and that's why it's always been one of my favorites. That one, so that's why it's in my letterbox favorites. I don't know where I rank it, like in my top 50. I need to make another top 50 list since I've seen so many more, but yeah, it's in my top 10 for sure. Same with Coraline, of course.
Mm. Yeah, that Little Miss Sunshine film's awesome. And it's a film that I watched it, and I don't know, God knows how long ago, just because I was on like a film binge as a teenager, and I just watched all the critically acclaimed
Mark,
films.
oh, you watched it
I've watched.
when you were a teenager too? Okay,
I've watched Little Miss Sunshine about three times, and I show
three
it to people. I
times.
show it to people because it's what it's in
Me
my
too.
it's in my like movie rotation of in my head. Like I have lists in my head. I don't really write stuff down. I just have it in like my mental archives, for better or worse. But it's in my like rotation in my head of like films that you can just put on, and like 9 times out of 10 people are going to enjoy. Like it's just an easily enjoyable film. It's fun, and it's like, and it has like depth to it, and it's paced well. It's not overly long. Great cast. You can't go wrong. And what is great for it is what's great about it for me is it's an insight into, well, American life that I'm so
Yeah.
fascinated by, especially in the context of that film. And oh my god, the granddad in that film's so fucking funny. Like when he's
Yeah.
sniffing like
Alan
bad.
Arkin, I think his name is.
He's like getting tuned in on the heroin.
And the porn
Yeah.
magazines, and I don't that when Steve Carell, he plays a homosexual who
Yeah.
he commits suicide, but he fails at it, which is good, but it's like he had to go buy the Hustler magazines for the
Yeah.
grandpa character, and he ended up getting the gay ones too. And yeah, his old boyfriend was in there or something, and he saw the straight magazine, and then the cop who also, I just remembered now, thinking back, that's Hank from Breaking Bad. He plays the cop that pulls him over.
Yeah,
Um,
that's another
and he
reason.
sees,
That's another reason
yeah.
I like showing it to people. I showed it to my friend who's big on Breaking Bad, and then I didn't mention who was in it, and because I just knew in the back of my head, I was like, he won't be able to believe it when Hank. Well, isn't Bryan Cranston in Little Miss Sunshine?
Yes, he's in it too. He's in it too. He plays the Greg Kinnear who's trying to find him. I forgot his I got it right here. I'll see what his name was, because it's at the tip of my tongue. Yeah, Stan Grossman he plays.
Yeah,
Yeah.
that's when they're in that. Yeah, they're by that pool. Yeah, I remember that.
Yeah.
Bryan Cranston's always been amazing. My first introduction to Bryan Cranston as a youth wasn't Malcolm in the Middle. It was actually it
Oh,
was Saving Private Ryan. He has a brief role
he
in.
was in there?
Yeah,
Dang.
very 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 brief role in that film, and they made us watch
I
Saving Private.
haven't even seen that movie yet.
They make you watch it in well, at least where I went to school in history, it's like they make you watch the opening scene on the beach of
Of
Normandy.
course.
Yeah,
Yeah.
so that scarred little Vivec brain.
Love
I was always
the
here's a good little bit of trivia about me. Is when I was younger, I was deeply disturbed by all types of like horror art. Like I was terrified of like gore and aliens and werewolves, especially were my biggest fear as a child.
Ooh.
Yeah, isn't it weird? Like I have these weird like unique fears as a child, and now out of all of like the creatures and ghouly bugs and monsters in fiction, werewolves fucked me up the most because there was something like visceral and disturbing about like they're like half monster, half person. Like there was, I think it was the first time
Right.
it was the first time I like tapped into like the depth of what you can do with like monsters. Because with vampires, you can explore lots of concepts, like lots of sexual concepts with vampires, like
Yes.
power and like
Seduction.
yeah, seduction, lust, and manipulation. Whereas werewolves is like the loss of self, loss of control, and that's why that werewolf film by Dr. Egg,
Oh my gosh.
Dr.
It looks
Robotnik, he's gonna
so good.
it's gonna be unreal because this guy clearly has a reverence for like exploring concepts through paranormal like creatures and ideas. He's just then Phil, I remember when I first watched The Witch, and I thought I was like,
Mhm.
how has this movie only just been made? Like, how has the best witch film only just been made in like the year of our Lord 2017? Anno Domini. I was like, how have all the witch films before this been so like corny?
Actually, it was 2015,
Oh,
so get it right. No, I'm
fuck,
kidding.
fuck, it's over. Cancel me.
Yeah,
But I remember
yeah.
all of his films. I just thought, right, this guy has just mastered the craft. It's serious and stylistic, and I just can't get enough of it. He's the greatest. Robert Eggers, in my opinion, is the greatest director in the current era. I can't think of anyone
Yes.
else
I used to think,
other than
after
Denis.
Midsummer and Hereditary, I'm like, Ari Aster's coming. But, I didn't get the chance to see Beau is Afraid and
Oh, did you not?
Eddington.
I love both of them films, but in a different
Oh, you
way.
loved it? Yeah.
They're really good, but they're not horror movies. They're like the horror is of there's a horror element to Beau is Afraid. I'd say it's an exploration of just the like literal feeling of anxiety, like perpetual
Yeah.
anxiety, and how it fucks
Uh,
with your reality. And then
yeah.
Eddington is a special film because that's the first film that's really wanted to actually like explore the psychological damage of COVID.
Right, yeah, because there's gonna be plenty more where that came from, because we're still dealing with the effects of it. Um,
Yeah.
but did you see, before I go back to the Robert Eggers, did you see Ari Aster's short film? Oh, he actually helped produce the drama. That makes a lot of sense now.
Right.
Did you see his short film, The Strange Thing About the Johnsons?
No, I've not.
Yeah, that movie, it's on YouTube. You can go watch. It's like 30 minutes long. Everyone raves about it. I gave it a 3, and I guess YMS Adam gave it a 3 too. But a lot of people say it's really good. For me, I didn't find it as scary. The concept is scary, but yeah, it's good. But yeah, I would recommend it for sure since you are a fan of Ari Aster. But
Yeah.
yeah, his films, I definitely need to see Beau is Afraid and Eddington before I even speak more on it. But Midsummer I thought was good. I know it's purposeful what they did now that like it just felt like a ongoing climax, not like there was no conclusion to it, but apparently that was the purpose because my girlfriend was actually talking to me about it. So, she's actually like really into movies too. Like she's not like some, surface level, Marvel watcher or whatever. She's actually like into films. Like she talks about the cinematography. Like we saw Leviticus the other day.
Mm.
And she loved it. And she was like talking, and she was actually like, calling things out before they even happen. I'm like, damn, this is gonna be awesome. And she was telling me about Midsummer, about how it was purposeful that it was like that. How it didn't feel like there was a real good conclusion. It was just ongoing, like growing climax the whole time. But
That's a good
yeah,
point. That's a good point
yeah,
because either that's gonna resonate with you and it's gonna strike something within, or you're gonna be feeling like you're waiting just for an anticlimax. Like the whole film's building towards an anticlimax, and it's just like it's a perception of like whether that's a good thing or a bad thing,
right. If
whether you're in the
it's
mood for it either. Like are you in the mood for that type of film? And I've watched Midsummer a few times now, the theatrical and the definitive extended edition, which I think is better.
ooh,
The extended the extendertron. Yeah, I think it's way better than the
the
theatrical.
extended.
It is because it fleshes out so much more, and I just there's a film that I just was obsessed with the setting and the way it looked. So more scenes were great, but
Of
they
course.
actually add to the characters, and there's a lot more like NC-17 like unrated stuff. But
Mm.
I remember the first time I watched that was with funnily enough my ex many years ago,
Ooh.
and she didn't. rate it, and I think it influenced my dislike of the film because she didn't like it. So I was like, oh, I don't know what I think of it because like she had a good grasp on films, and I was like, whoa, am I missing something here? Or have I been fooled? But then I'd watched it in different situations. Like the time after that, I watched it by myself. I was like, it went from a 6 to a 7, 6, 7, and
Oh,
we did it. Whoop, whoop, whoop. And then the next time I watched it in a group, and that was the last time I watched it, and I think I bumped it up to like an 8. But and every time I watch that film, it just I appreciate more about it. Versus other films where like I'll watch Hereditary and I'm like that just it's very rewatchable, but it's just the same experience every time. So it's just still a solid
yeah,
film. Versus other films that I'll watch and I'm like when I go on my letterbox actually, if I don't want to watch something new, I'll go back to like my 3 out of 10 and 3.5 out of my, I always get mixed up with out of 10 and out of 5 because I'm so IMDb brained because I used to be an IMDb.
right.
I had an
Same.
IMDb. I converted all my IMDb to Letterbox when I got it. But yeah, I go on my Letterbox and look at my 3 star and 3.5 stars, and then I'm like, oh, is there a chance that I could actually bump this up and appreciate it more? And that excites me because I love appreciating things that I like maybe missed the point of.
For sure. Yeah,
Mm.
for sure. I love like as soon as I see a movie, I saw this funny post. It's like, I don't know how people can just watch a movie and not log it in their letterbox. That's true. It's so true now because like that's immediately what I want to do. Because I love being able to log it, and that's why I leave a review for every movie now
Me too.
because I want it to like excuse me. I want it to be like, I want it to stay put. Like, if you just rate a movie, it's not going to show that like you just watched it. It's just that you rated it. But like, if you go in your diary and everything, you'll see like all the movies that are there. That's the movies you reviewed, not the ones you rated. Because you could have just because I still rate movies that I haven't rated on here yet, because I just haven't gotten to it or I haven't noticed it. I haven't noticed that I didn't rate it. So like there's still movies that I thought I rated. I never did. So I do that. But yeah, I love this app. It's so much fun. You can make lists and everything. I love I, and the only thing is that I wish it had like some TV shows too, but I guess I understand why. But there are some TV shows on there though, and it doesn't
Mm.
make sense why all of them aren't there. But yeah. But um,
No,
what was
I,
I gonna
I,
say?
I agree. I agree. I enjoy the whole. I've always enjoyed the process. I was always on IMDb and everything. And Letterbox is just a continuation of something I've always been doing. Is I just love. I like writing reviews. I'm not doing it for really. If
Yes,
anyone wants to look at them, that's great. But I might writing them because I want to do something creative, and I like to articulate my thoughts. It's very therapeutic. It's
right.
creative. It gets you more engaged with the film, and I love engaging with art and like picking it apart. And yeah, I've been doing it a lot more recently, where like I alternate between like a few words, like like a funny review, few words that just encapsulates it. If I don't have much to say, but then like if it's something really in depth, or I have like if it's like a franchise, I often talk. I'd watched the anime Bleach. There's a very strange show that like this is another phenomenon that I find funny.
They just came out with a movie very recently. I wanted to go see it, but I haven't seen the other ones. I saw you rated it on
The
here.
that's interesting that that there's this phenomenon in anime right now that's just been spurred on last year with the success of Demon Slayer and Chainsaw Man is that
Did you
anime.
like Demon Slayers by chance?
I'm
Sorry.
I'm not into like that sort of anime to be honest.
Oh, okay.
Like kids doing bits with swords. I mean Bleach
Got
is
you.
Bleach is kids doing bits with swords, but I just prefer
Hmm.
the art style is very important for me. Like I don't like too overly anime-y looking stuff. I liked Bleach as a teenager because it's a bit edgier, but it's not. It's a stupid show about people fighting with swords. It's fun and there's nothing. I think
Oh,
it's weird because like I'm a fan. This is a phenomenon I was going to talk about. Is like I'm a fan of it, but I think it's just like the most 6 out of 10 stuff ever. It's like I love Harry.
oh, okay.
I love Harry Potter and would consider myself a fan of it, but like I don't think it's some profound deep piece of like metatextual fiction, like
Yeah.
some people say. And like Bleach, I meet Bleach fans in real life, and they're going on about how deep it is, and I'm like, lad, when I watch it, I'm just waiting for them to start fighting and the cool music to come on, and then stop talking because the dialogue's so bad. But
Yeah.
it's like a weird relationship with it. It's like I hate to love it and love to hate it. But
Yeah.
going back to that film that they've released, it's not actually a film. It's just like the first 3 episodes of the final season,
Oh.
and Japanese studios are doing this en masse now. They're now doing like preview films for like big upcoming seasons. So Jujutsu Kaisen, big anime, had like a movie that was stitched together the last bits of season 2, the best bits, and like the first 2 episodes of season 3, and it's become huge. It's become a huge boom for anime, and that's why anime is now taking over even more so, is because it's infiltrating all of these like. It's in film, it's in TV, it's in video games, it's in music. It's as a weeaboo who was a big weeb as a youth, and got seriously bullied for being into anime, and now every man and his dog has watched Attack on Titan and fucking singing anime lyrics in the street, and it's normal. It's like it's a weird world. It's weird how like even going back to cannabis, about like there's this weird thing. There's like a weird thing about life or reality or society, and most people like the normies shun it. And then when they actually get involved with it, like they smoke a doobie or they watch a few animes, and they realize that it's cool and they
They
like
smoke
it.
a few animes. No.
Don't be smoking that anime, son. They then realize that it's good, and then they're like, oh wait, no, yeah, it was always good, blah blah blah. And it's like, mate, these are the
Mhm.
same people back in the day that like give you shit for being, oh, he's flat out on weed, he's a druggie, oh, he likes anime, he probably wanks over
Mhm.
hentai, and he likes tentacles up his bum,
Oh, yeah.
and like
Give me a break.
in another bit of a Vivec law, yeah, in school, like I was massively bullied in school because I was just not asked
Oh,
about.
no.
I was not bothered about socializing with others, and it was very dysfunctional, fucking ADHD brain. But even so, I was like, well, I'm just not really like very social. Like I just like my little weird things. So I didn't know how to relate to people, and then I remember when everyone found out in school that I liked anime, and I wasn't like the people in school who liked anime and manga club were like, you would say, the freaks, quote unquote, which I think is very rude. But that's what they were called by like
Yeah.
by like
Or weeaboos. They
yeah,
always weeaboos was a big
yeah,
thing.
freaks, nerds, geeks, weebs, and like all, people who are in
Freaks and geek.
yeah, basically what I've realized, it's people who are into introverted uh hobbies. It clashes with like the extroverted like world that we live in, of like because society is predicated and human relationships are predicated on socialization, and
Right.
when you're not into that, it can trigger like the normies because they're like, oh, why, there's something wrong with what they're doing. That's wrong. That's like that. It's weird.
Right.
When actually, it's trying to tell them like, oh, actually, there's different ways you can live life. And I think we're a bit more open.
Yeah.
We're open now. Like it's
Of course.
everyone likes video games. Like video game movies are everywhere, and like it's weird. It's gone from like, oh, you're a weirdo for liking this, to we all love it so much that now you fucking ruined it. Like all these video game movies are so like
Yeah.
soulless. Like
Stupid. Yeah.
it goes from like one extreme to the other, doesn't it? It's sad.
Yeah. But Resident Evil looks like it's in good hands because I love Zach Cregger. I've always loved him. Even Miss March, has a place in my heart too. But yeah.
I'm gonna make a bet. I'm gonna make a bet right now, and I've said it a few times
Okay.
to my friends. And I said I'll buy him a pint if it's not true. And I'm gonna say it. The Resident Evil by Zach Cregger will be the greatest video game movie ever made by far. Like
Oh, wow.
yeah, it will be. It's one, when you're just confident about something. I mean, it could drop the ball. It could be terrible. It could just be like okay. Yeah, like I don't think it'll be anything less than good. But I think it'll be.
Yeah.
I don't think it'll be a masterpiece. But in terms of video game movies, it'll be the best because when you hear this guy talk about the franchise, and
Hmm.
he not only has a very good grasp of what makes Resident Evil feel like it does, he's also very conscious of the fact that every other adaptation of a video game, including the previous Resident Evil films, were chaotic, mindless, nonsensical, like hodgepodge, like almost like brand recognition garbage, as fun as them films are. And he's like, I want to step away from that. Forget the characters,
Hmm.
forget the games. Well, not forget like the minutia of the games. What's the main thing you want to do a video game? Maybe
Right.
it wants to convey the feeling, the essence of the game, and he understands that and has talked about it. And Weapons was, I thought, was fucking really really good. Um,
Loved it.
and I thought it was a massive improvement over Barbarian, and
Same.
I don't see how he's gonna drop the ball. And there's a lot of hype with this movie, especially in like, I mean, people love these video game movies because it's everyone like it's nostalgia, and
There's a
also
huge fan base for all these games. That's why,
yes,
Iron Lung was like that, even though it was not good, but
fuck
people
that.
went out to see it. And also, Markiplier, of course, I have nothing bad to say about him. But yeah, people love video game movies, so they get like just they're gonna get a crowd just for that. And
Yeah.
Resident Evil is such a big game, and there was already a whole franchise on it
Yep.
before. I'm gonna bet. I don't know if I'm gonna go as far as what you say, but I'm gonna say it's definitely gonna be better than the Mila Jovovich
Yeah.
ones.
There's yeah. That's a
I
that's a
haven't even
given.
seen them, but yeah, I
I,
just know they're gonna be better. I wrote yours down though. I got your hot take right here.
yeah.
Maybe it won't be hot coming up,
If
but it's
if
hot right now.
if it doesn't happen, I'll do something to shame myself online, as
You'll do something.
I'll compensate for the lack of truth.
You'll have
Um,
to do the podcast twice a week.
I'll just do the podcast. I'll just do the podcast forever until I die.
Yeah.
What the thing is though that I don't think it's a bold statement of mine, that because the bar for video game movies is so unbelievably low that even like if this film is like if we're gonna get numerical again, a 4 out of 5,
Yeah.
it's already the best video game movie, because there's no video game movie, and maybe some people would disagree with me here, but being a kinophile and a gamerphile, like, come on, man! Like, people need to be realistic. Like, these the Super Mario movies are fucking trash.
Oh God.
The Minecraft movie is a soulless reflection of like our shallow TikTokified culture. It's sickening. I hate that film.
TikTokification.
I,
TikTokification. That's a great word.
it is though, isn't it? Like that film and is being treated. I tell you, another YouTubers I really like, Red Letter
And
Me.
Five Nights at Freddy's too.
Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah, that was crap. That was all fucking all stupid. It's like, oh my god, look, it's Freddy. It's like, you can't get me. You can't do me over with nostalgia and like member
Of
berries
course.
like South Park. I know what you're doing.
Right.
Versus these these video game fans who maybe aren't into film, like the biggest Mario
Mhm.
fan ever, like the 40-year-old guy in his fucking underpants on his
Oh
Switch. He's
gosh.
gonna go watch the Mario Galaxy movie and be like, "Oh my god, it's a reference to my childhood. It's a 10 out of 10, and it looks cool, and it's
Hey,
Notorious B.I.G."
references are ruining a lot of stuff. I cannot stand references. They use it as nostalgia bait, and nostalgia can only get you so far if there's no substance to the reference.
Yeah, and it's a
I hate it.
reflection. It's a reflection of how idiotic our like society is. That we lap it up, and I mean, on the fringe, like sort of the more, I don't know, not knowledgeable people in the know of the arts and that, like we all hate it, like, because we see what it really is, and the shady business practices behind it, despite the effort and talent that goes into making some of these films, except the Minecraft movie. That's just fucking like like I'd rather watch an AI generated film than that. Like, an AI generated film has more value than the Minecraft movie, because the Minecraft movie is corrupt and soulless. uh at least the AI movie would at least look cool. And you
Yes.
maybe have to get creative about the prompt. Like, the Minecraft movie is a boardroom film. It's like created by a
Uh-huh.
boardroom of bigwig executives that want to fit like milk a brand. Like, you could make a beautiful Minecraft movie, a beautiful artistic Minecraft movie using the visuals from the game, and you can make it about loneliness, about like you're the only person in like Minecraft is a very solipsistic game about if you play it by yourself. Like, it's just you on this
Yeah.
infinite world, isn't it? Is that you could do something deep with that versus chicken jockey.
Oh gosh, I couldn't stand hearing that shit. I had no idea what it was at first, but then yeah, they started saying it was so bad. Um,
Yeah, because I saw all them. I mean, the phenomenon. This is another thing again I love about Sardonicast is Alex IHE. He represents my opinion of Britain so well, despite being from like another country down, which is down south. It feels like another country where he's from, but he understands a lot about like the wider English like culture, where like we don't have chicken jockey level stuff going on in our cinemas. We're not that the British brains are not wired up like that to be so like
They're not
bombastic.
as stupid and cholesterol
But
filled as the
yeah, we might not be as stupid and cholesterol filled, but what the problem is that fucking UK cinemas are boring. Like
Mm,
when I went to, oh, did I watch? Oh yeah, I went to watch the back rooms, and there was actually
mm,
there was people in the cinema, which was like, what the fuck? I was like, oh my god, there's people in the cinema. I go to fucking cinema, man, like my local cinema, and it's big, it's semi big city, full of fucking students everywhere. Like you'd think people would be going to cinema all the time. Went to
mm,
Obsession, and it was just me and my friend and. These two black ladies, like this couple, who made it even
mhm.
funnier because they were commenting over it as well. They were like, "Oh my god!" so, so I can't believe she did that. I was like, "Fuck it!" So they were making me laugh, and I was like, "What even is the movie going experience anymore in theaters?" And I was just going to mention that before. Red Letter Media, who have a great fucking movie review channel, iconic, and
Mhm.
Mike, one of the main guys, Mike and Jay. Mike always goes on about how he hates the fucking theater going experience now because like
Yeah,
on their recent review where they talk about Obsession, I suggest to watch it. It's quite interesting because the guy Mike's like, oh, clearly this film's clearly like really great, but I was surrounded by kids eating popcorn and like going on the phones and chatting shit. Like, how am I going to enjoy that if I'm around them people?
right. It's terrible that theater etiquette is like that. Luckily, I don't get, I don't have to experience that all the time. It happens sometimes, like back rooms. There was people talking, man. It was surprisingly people my age. So it's like, dude, be quiet. And you could talk a little bit. Like I don't mind if you're like, like, ooh, that was cool. And reactions, of course, are definitely, much needed. That's why you go to the theater. But straight
Mm.
up talking and I don't know. And when people go on their phones like they're just looking, that
Oh yeah.
doesn't bother me. It's if you talk on the phone. That's when it's like, okay, we got a problem. But if you go on your phone, like that doesn't bother me as much as other people do. I don't think it's that big of a deal. Like they're
No.
just checking it or whatever. Unless you're on it the whole time, then yeah, it's like,
Yeah.
well, why are you here?
If any,
But
it's
yeah,
not. Yeah, it's not even the fact that it's not distracting because in a visual sense, for me, it's like like I always go to like the middle I always get VIP row at the View Cinema,
of course,
because why
yes,
not? But it's like in the middle, and you can see people down from you, and then like it's sad to see someone in the corner of your vision just on the phone all the time because it distract.
right,
Cause it makes me start thinking about fucking the shitty human culture that we currently exist within
right.
and the psychology behind it versus me wanting to interface with the film, and that's why sometimes um, watching a film just on my TV is actually the preferable way. Like I'm gonna
Yeah, some movies. Yeah,
I'm watching Obsession again tomorrow because I believe it's out on streaming, and my cousin
yeah.
he wants to watch it, and I want to watch it again, so we're gonna watch it. And I guarantee, and this is another one like Resident Evil. We're locking it in. I guarantee that I bump that rating up a bit because I'll get the feeling of from the film that I wanted to in the cinema. But the reason I went to watch it in the cinema is because it's a fucking big film, and I wanted to be part of like the big
Of
cultural
course.
event. Like, and there's no one there.
Same. Yeah, no, that's why I mean going into Obsession, I had no idea it was gonna be as big as it got, of course. I saw it like when it came out, the Friday it came out. So my theater was like not even like there was people in there, but like as the movie went on, there less and less people were making noise. It was just pure focused. And I remember the guy next to me, or like he was like sitting one seat, in between us, but we both I could tell out of the peripheral of my vision. We were both just staring at the credits for like a straight minute,
Mm.
just saying nothing, just taking in with her spoilers, but she was just crying at the end there, and like just hearing her cry and the realization of what had just happened, how crazy the movie was, the whole time, like just like taking it in, and that's something you can't get at home, like you can, but it's a lot harder, and like you get like you hear audio a lot louder in the movie, and same with Jackass. Like that was my first Jackass movie I've ever seen in theaters, but it was an amazing experience because people were dying laughing in there.
Mm.
Me and my best friend we went to see it, and we were just laughing like crazy every time something funny happened with Johnny Knoxville. He always like just laughs like after everything, and we just crack up at that because it's so funny. Like he's
Yeah.
like, I'm about to be hit by a car. It's just funny that he's like very like cynical like that with his own body.
Yeah, dodgy.
But yeah, it's just theaters experiences and people. I've been seeing comments. I don't know, it could be a bot, but I see comments like this though often, and where people have every right to complain about theater etiquette, and there's these jackasses, no pun intended, saying saying that like just watch it at home then, bro. Watch it at home. Why do you even go to the theater? It's like we go to the theater because we want to see it. You need to have theater etiquette. Like you could talk during the trailers, whatever, like you're getting ready to come in, but like when the movie starts, you got to be whispering. If you go on your phone, you're just checking it a little bit, and you definitely just cannot be talking. And reacting is great. We love that. So
Yeah.
just keep that. But like when you're constantly talking and being obnoxious, like kids need to be watched during movies. And with Backrooms, it had a very like young audience.
Yeah, there was
When I was going to
loads of teenagers at my
yeah,
viewing, and yeah,
yeah.
they were reacting to it in different ways. Where like they were reacting to like well, I wouldn't say it's Member Berry's reference material because the film's based upon something that exists, but it was like it's when they saw a connection to like the web series or the online lore, like that's when they react like, oh my god, I can't believe it, and I was like, oh, this is I can see how teenagers love that shit. I was gonna say, I was gonna share two strange, awkward experiences I've had in the cinema that come to mind. They stick out to me. The first one I went when I went to watch Dune 2 in 2024. I went.
Mm.
I went with my friend, and he may have been under the influence of a stimulant substance. And I just asked him if I was just said to him, I was like, I'm going to go watch Dune 2 if you fancy coming watching it. I was going to just go watch it by myself, and I thought, oh, I saw that my mate was out in town. I said, do you
Mm.
want to come watch it? And he was like, yeah, we'll do. Not knowing that he'd been on a night out, like drinking and other stuff with his friends. So he came to watch Dune 2 with me, and then he was like so stimulated that he couldn't stop talking in the beginning of it, and because I'm too nice, because I'm too nice, I couldn't bring myself to tell him to like
Yeah.
quiet down, and I'd just be like, yeah, I know what you mean, like really, really quietly, but he was getting it's just never ending. Again, he said out loud, he was like, I think I'm going to become a helicopter pilot, and then then this group of students across the theater, like this guy got up and he was like, "Will you two fucking shut the fuck up now?" And I was just like, "Sorry." And then for the rest of the film, my friend just had to like endure being on a stimulant, not being able to talk.
Oh man.
So
Yeah, stimulants at the movie theater, not a good idea. Like you think it is, but yeah, no. You take it after the movie or like during the movie so it hits you when
I know.
I'm not condoning it, but
So I've actually been involved. I was sort of like semi-involved in being a dickhead at the cinema. I just didn't know what to do because I was like, oh, I shouldn't have taken my friend here.
I
It's
mean,
my fault.
yeah.
But
I
then
mean,
another
yeah, that's not
another
your fault.
another time it was not all it wasn't like I didn't do anything, but I was conscious that I was having a strange reaction to the film that people weren't around me. This was a weird experience about going to the cinema because we've got View, which is the brand like the chain of cinemas in the UK, or
Okay.
one of them.
Hmm.
And but then in my town we have like an art house, like private theater that plays like classic Kino and got on rotation. It's like an independent alternative place for more for like artsy people and students and the like. And they do like mystery film nights. And then I went to one. Oh no, they're doing a David Lynch tribute, and me and Space Nymph went last year, and they were playing Lost Highway, and I find that film absolutely hilarious in the most like depraved, like weird, twisted moments because I find David Lynch films extremely funny because they blur the line between absurdity and like seriousness. And when we went there, we were the only people laughing at the film, and everyone else was taking it like mega seriously. So I was like, "Am I being a dickhead, or is just nobody else? Does nobody else get it, or do I not get it?" But
Right.
I love that film. I love that film so much. It's like one of my favorite films, Lost Highway. But no one was laughing at the ridiculous like dialogue and the funny moments that are designed to be funny. Like I think it's because maybe people watching it had never seen a David Lynch film before, and it was like it like made them feel weird. And I was like, oh, that's so cool that
Hmm.
that's it. But that made me appreciate the film more, even though I couldn't help myself. I was laughing so much, and I was like only person laughing
Eh,
in a full
that's
packed
funny.
theater. But
Yeah.
it made me appreciate his films even more because it shows you that So for some people, those David Lynch is pure horror. Where for me, it's like I don't know, everything is everything. David Lynch films touch upon everything. It can be funny, then it
Right.
can make you cry, then it can make you feel scared, it makes you feel weird. But
He's got it all.
yeah,
Eraserhead definitely like got a mix of funny and very creepy. I love like, you know, the feeling of that movie. It's just something you can't get anywhere else.
mm, it's yeah. Some I forget that some people sometimes I do have to. Yeah, I've got to take myself out of my own like shoes and realize that I sometimes show films to people. I've shown them before in group settings and parties and whatever, and I often put on like challenging films or bit of like I often go to like black comedies, and for some people. There's nothing comedic about these black comedies. They're just fucked. Like I showed
Mhm.
a huge group of people the film Happiness, and if you know the film Happiness, you know what it's about or one of the things that it's about. Which
I have not
it
seen it yet.
it's funny enough with Philip Seymour Hoffman again. It all
Hmm.
comes back to
Oh,
him.
wow. Oh, you gave it a 4.5? Okay,
I
I just add this.
that's in my list of favorite films, and
Hmm, okay.
I don't want to say anything about it because
Definitely don't, not because I'll probably watch it, yeah.
anyone who's listening to this who knows what Happiness is, the 1998 black comedy by Ted
By
Solondz.
Todd Solondz,
Todd
yeah.
Solondz. Um, this film explores white picket suburban America in a way that's so brave and daring and out there and
Mm,
controversial that like I think it's a fantastic piece of art but an amazing piece of comedy for like people who maybe have a bit of a twisted mind who find like I won't lie, I do find like anyone who's anyone who's in the Vivec Discord and gets to know me a little bit better and like my public appearances probably is maybe a bit shocked that I do find like absolutely like the brutality of life almost like absurdly amusing. Like some people watch upset like I can imagine watching Obsession with like my mum and she won't find any of that funny. It'll all be serious because it's like such a dark film versus me where I can like go from laughing to being like whoa I'm moved, and Happiness is one of those where like 1 minute you're laughing at like how absolutely fucked up the subject matter is, and then it get because
mhm.
it treats it actually like a comedy at first, and then it'll go get really serious about what it's talking about, and it's like some seriously like dark stuff about like the derangement of like the average person and like the darkness
For
within,
sure.
and I find that funny but also tragic. And then I watched it with my in a big group, and my friend she had a really bad reaction to that film and it actually traumatized her, and
Happiness?
yeah, yeah, and I've been ever
Mm,
since that day. It made me. It was quite a healthy moment for me because I was like, maybe
hmm.
maybe be a bit more conscientious of the fact that like other people can't perceive that like as being funny and just a film like that actually like fucks them up.
Right.
She said she I say trauma. She does say she's like every time she sees me on honestly she mentions it every time. She's like, "What the fuck was that film you showed us?" And I was like, "Oh, Happiness, the happiest film ever." And it she says there's things in that film she could never get out of her head that she would have rather not known about human beings. And I was like, "Whoa, that's like fucking heavy."
Dang, maybe I shouldn't watch it then. No, I'm kidding.
Yeah, I have friends who like who are big into cinema. A friend I was talking about before, whose mum supposedly had sex with Philip Seymour Hoffman. Lol, another connection. I know that he struggles to watch this film, and I completely get why. Even though he will find parts of it funny, there's some very fucked up. Like it touches on things like the most fucked up shit that like it would probably. I can now understand would easily trigger someone in not in a like negative context being triggered but actually like make someone flare up. It's not one of them you just watch on a random Sunday afternoon. It's like you got to prepare yourself, like you know. Another film I've watched, you've watched Come and See, haven't you, the war film?
Oh, yeah, I recommended that to you, that
Yeah,
movie.
yeah, I'd always wanted to watch it, but you spurred me on to like actually sit down and see it. I remember it's a funny moment last year when I was living with Space Nymph. I remember one time I just woke up one day and it was like today is the day we're watching this. I'd been putting it off for like my whole life because I knew I was gonna love it because I was I
Mhm.
just want and I was almost like getting autistic about like I want to watch it in the very very perfect moment, and then I just woke up this morning. I
Yeah.
was like, stop being an idiot. Just watch it tonight. And I was glued. Like, that's a beautifully harrowing film.
Yeah, that movie I've said before. Oh, you gave it a 5 out of 5. That's good. I thought you gave it a lower rating before, not like low, but like a 4 or 3.5.
I think I bumped it up upon reflection because it's one of them films
Oh,
that's if like we were saying before about like what you would consider a 5 out of 5. It's a film that stays with you, isn't it? And
yes, I
that
always bring it up as a movie that's amazing that people should see, you know.
not yeah, not even to spoil it, but the very end. I remember that film. I rated it like 4.5 up until like the very last. I'd say like 2 minutes, and the inclusion of this element at the end of it regarding a certain man,
Yeah,
an
yep,
infamous man. The way it depicted that without saying anything, it was just through pictures. Was like a
yes,
masterful art. Amazing
yes.
the corruption of man. if you ne- if you've not seen that photo, I mean, the reason we talk, I would say, like talking about, well, the reason we talk about films on here is not just because we're big into art and like, and films are psychological. Like they let you talk about psychological concepts, and that's why I like trip reports and drugs because they induce psychological experiences, much like films and art do.
Yeah, no, I really love that movie, and I told you, I tell everybody that you need to watch it with headphones on because it completely amplifies the experience, not only your audio, because the scenes with the helicopters or the planes that are dropping bombs, like you literally are hearing it through the main character, and the soundtrack, I've always tried to find it. But it's not on there. Like if you want to listen to the soundtrack, you have to watch the movie. And the soundtrack is one that like is very underrated for a film because no one really brings it up. But with headphones on, if you're gonna watch it again, you definitely have to watch it with headphones and the dark because and also the cinematography is freaking fantastic. I love it. It kind of reminded me of like a Revenant type of film, like with how I mean there wasn't like shots of any like beautiful mountains or anything like that, but like the natural light and especially in the beginning when they're excited to like be in the war and like all you know they're like they have a positive outlook and then it slowly deteriorates into like oh shit this is war, this is something people are dying and like he really like and they show how bad he ages throughout the film like he starts to get gray hair kind of in
Yeah.
spots and he's got wrinkles and everything like that man was put through a lot and no one can find the woman who was in it. I forgot her name in the character but there's this woman I remember I tried to find her and there's this woman that pops up and she had to make a disclaimer on her Facebook or Instagram saying I'm not the woman from Come and See. So I thought that was funny.
That's
But yeah,
hilarious.
that's a top 50 movie for me. Top
What's
top 15
I was going to ask
for
you
sure.
a question. What's a film that's highly revered, like Come and See, or any of the top IMDb 250 or Letterbox that like you've gone into film and you wanted to love it, but you actually just thought it was okay. Like, have you ever
What's
found that
crazy,
with
yeah,
anything
what's
else in?
crazy is that I wrote down a whole bunch of movies that I like that. So the one that really got me, that really like this is a movie that disappoints me so much that I do not I like it, I just don't love it. It's Alien, the original Alien. I've
Oh,
watched it 3 times trying to get that experience that it just has never hit me. Usually, if I don't love a movie at first and I love it at the end, it's because the second watch gets me, but the second and third one doesn't. And then Possession from 1981, I'm not in
oh.
love with that film. I like it, I just don't love it. One Battle After Another, I think that film
Oh.
is very hypocritical. Super Bad, I don't love. Babadook,
Yeah, it's super
and
bad for that film. Fucking hell, it's so cringe, man.
yeah.
I was going on about before, but I don't think like American Pie is massively funny when I go back and watch it. But I like the vibes. I
Mhm.
hated the vibe of super bad. Like I didn't think it's funny. The characters are annoying. It's cringe. All the memes of it are like I don't know, like forced normie memes. It's not. I don't know. It's fucking
Yeah.
very surface level humor. I hated that film.
Yeah,
Um,
I don't understand the hype from it.
but it's
But yeah.
interesting you say that about the possession and one battle after another. I've only seen one battle after another once, but I just loved PTA and I
Yeah.
liked the acting. I thought it was funny, but I've not watched it
Yeah,
again. But Possession is like yeah, it's one of my very favorite films. But I can see I can completely get that. I completely
Yeah.
understand how you would not like fully click with it.
Mhm.
It just again happens to me. Like the main movie I've seen that I didn't fully click with, but and I didn't even think it was bad. I actually thought it was just good, just good. 7 out of 10 was Stalker, which people say is one of the very greatest films of all time.
Stalker.
Yeah, Stalker, the Ukrainian film about like it's like set in the zone in like Chernobyl.
Oh,
Um,
I have it in my watch list. Okay.
it's a very
Yeah.
iconic like art house film. And it has a very interesting like backstory where like they all died of like radiation poisoning because of filming the film because
Oh,
they're
I
like swimming around in like little like lakes and shit and they got radiation poisoning and died.
Oh, in the actual film, like they real in real life they
In real,
did?
yeah, the character, yeah, the act, like
Oh,
where
wow.
they're acting on set, like well, in a radiated environment, and so the actual backstory of the film is a bit more interesting. The film is very dialogue heavy and super abstract, very artsy,
Mhm.
which I do like, but is not massively entertaining or engaging for me, other than like iconic shots which are like cemented in cinema
It
history.
looks iconic.
It's beautiful.
Yeah.
When it's beautiful, it's beautiful. But a lot of that film is like them just sat on a hill, just talking about very vague subjects. And
Yeah.
if you vibe with that, you'll love it. But I just thought it was good, so that disappointed me a little.
I'll
Um,
give you my review on it. Actually, this is I saw it. I say as much as I love and respect a great deal about this film, and genuinely found it enjoyable in spite of its slow burn pace. I just didn't really connect with the characters or themes as much as I'd hoped. I'm happy I finally sat down and watched it though, especially since it's the main source of inspiration for some of my very favorite games in the Stalker series. I'm
mm.
sure there's a lot to dissect in this film, but upon my initial watch, I can't honestly say I picked up on much to sink my teeth into, but I don't doubt there's a lot of depth under the surface that I might have missed. I will say, though, that some of the shots are exceptionally well framed. I could still viscerally recall them now. I just wish I was able to project some meaning onto them.
Yeah, at first, I thought you said I'm going to read my review of it, and I was like, "What is he on about? He's not seen it." And then you was like, "I was like, no, he's reading my review." You cut out a little bit. That was funny.
Yeah.
I was like, I've recognised that those exact words.
That sounds exactly.
It,
But I
of
wanted to
course, I
say
know
I
it's
got
me.
two. Yeah, I got two more that I wanted to say before you go. The Babadook, I never got into that. I thought it was good. Like all these films, I think are good. I just don't think are great.
Me
Like the
too.
hype they deserve.
Yeah,
And then
I've
La
never thought they were
Haine,
bad.
that's
Oh,
yeah, La Haine.
did you just
Yeah,
think
I
it was
was.
good?
Yeah, I just thought it was good. I understand, like I understand and respect everything about it, and I know why it's such a big, highly regarded movie. It just didn't connect with me as much. I still gave it a 3.5, but
Yes.
yeah.
Another film I'm going to be very maybe controversial in saying this because, and so many people have come up to me asking about it online and in real life. It's funny when people like expect you to like a film because they're like, well, not expect you, but they're like, oh, they know your intuit your taste, don't they? And they're like, oh, well, this might be up Vivec Street, and it just wasn't. The more I think about the film, the more I dislike it. Is a Project Hail Mary. Really did not like that film.
You didn't like that? I need to see it still.
I think that's like the most overrated and most like mid film I've seen in a long time. With some like slight, I mean, the problem is it's mid for me, but it's not mid for people because clearly it's resonating with them. But the reason I don't like it is because I don't really like overly. Might sound a bit bitter, but I don't really like overly wholesome films. And it had very like
Mm.
it had very quippy like Marvel type.
Oh, letterbox review quippiness. Ugh.
Yeah, it's like
Uh,
not as egregious as Marvel, but it was very child friendly. That movie, like fun for
it
all
was
the
for
family. Ryan Gosling
okay.
is providing fun for all the family with the cute robot dog or whatever it is. There's some like, companion he has in it, and
Yeah.
it was too much. It was too much like toddler level like emotions for me. Uh,
Fucking toddler, mate. I can't.
Send them back to fucking school where they could learn something. So that was really overrated for me. Someone's just said in the chat, the user Angel, okay, about the back rooms, and yes, we were talking about that briefly before. I liked that film, and I liked that film because I did think it was trippy, and I liked the feeling that that film invoked. I liked that
Mhm.
film more than a lot of people I know that are into like the backrooms lore and the culture and the just the whole the internet phenomenon.
Yeah,
Versus, I have
I
not
loved it.
I didn't know anything about it other than like passing glances
I
online.
knew. I knew so much about the Backrooms. I'm not like a massive like stan of Backrooms lore, and even Kane Pixel's like work that got him that deal to make it.
Mm.
And he's actually they're releasing an extended cut that's 15 minutes longer
I'd
in
watch that.
theaters.
Oh,
Very
they're re-releasing it, an extended cut in.
Yeah, it's
What?
re-releasing it.
Well,
Yeah,
that's
and
a
it's still in
strange.
theaters just regularly, so I might go and see it
Mm.
again just to see that because I'd love to see because that movie is something that is not complete in one film. Like they should really make like a mini series or just like yeah, a show out of it. But I mean, he's working on the second one now,
Yeah,
and but yeah, go ahead.
I liked that film because it just had elements of other pieces of fiction that I love. I love SCP, which is very interlinked with Backrooms, sort of the minimalistic, like uncanny feeling. I like internet weirdness, like creepypastas. I've always liked that. It reminded me of Control, the games by Remedy. Very, very similar to Control, actually. In fact, a lot of the time I was thinking about Control when the film was going on about the plot. I was like, is this like? I think like they're both pulling from like the same thing rather than one bit copying another. Well, Control came out before the Backrooms concept, but like that's just a thing about art. Is like you pick up on ideas from someone
Mm.
else's art and you expand upon them. Another thing Angel OK just said was that there's a director called Alejandro Jodorowsky. Y'all would love his movies, and very much.
Yeah.
I'm very much a fan already of The Holy Mountain. That's one of my favourite films.
Mm.
And
Yes.
YMS, who we had on last, that's his favourite film. That's how I found out about it. I've watched that many times, and perhaps maybe someone who wasn't me did it under the influence of certain things. Very transcendental movie, probably the ultimate tripping movie, I would say. That film has made me feel things like I've never felt before in my life. But I've never watched his other films, Jodorowsky. But he was supposed to make June back in the day, I believe.
Oh, could you imagine that?
Yeah, there's that documentary called. It's called. I've not watched it, but I've read a lot about it. I would like to watch it. Called Jodorowsky's Dune, where he wanted to.
Mm.
He wanted because it's interesting Dune, right? Because the book doesn't. The book describes like it's a book in it. So it's going to describe. It can only describe things within like text and language and the feeling of like the essence of like
Yeah.
a room. It doesn't tell you exactly what the Dune world looks like outside of like maybe the official artwork. So all of the people who've
Mm.
had a stab at Dune have done like different styles. So David Lynch was like maximalism to the fucking max, like
Maximalism to
yeah.
the
And then
max.
Jodorowsky's was going to be very surreal, trippy, almost like cosmic horror, like
Mm. I
weird.
would have loved that.
Yeah, like where like the ships have like this biomechanical like Geiger look to them, but it fell apart because it was so ambitious. And then we get Denis
Yeah,
Villeneuve, who's
just
perfected
reinvigorated it.
who's
Yeah.
perfected minimalism and turned it into like an actual
Uh,
style that's not just like I don't know a Drake video with his guys in a fucking like block room with like
mm.
nothing going on. I watched I was watching like loads of Drake music videos of a day to like see. I love comparing like the past to the current, and I was like,
Right.
what were Drake music videos like in 2010? And like
Yeah, I remember them very heavily.
they've
Yeah,
got like a bit
I
of
was a
like
big fan.
they've got like a bit of energy though. Like they've got a bit of like
Mm.
character, and then nowadays it's literally him like preying on his enemy's downfall, and he's in a fucking
Right.
he's in
He's
like a,
worried too much
he's in
about
this
what they say about
yeah, yeah, yeah. It's like so conscious, whereas back like ego
him. Mhm.
conscious, and like back in the day, it's like oh, just having a bit of fun.
Right.
Basically, everyone was corrupted by COVID. I think I swear to God, everyone went crazy.
For real. Yeah, but before you go on, I want to say that I don't know if you ever seen, but what you're saying about the
Mm.
Tarkovsky, what his name is, about
Tarkovsky.
Dune that Tarkovsky, and but Stanley Kubrick. I don't know if you knew this. He was gonna make a Napoleon movie, which I think would have been freaking incredible. Like they were close to doing it too. Oh wait, did my camera? Sorry.
Can't be any worse than fucking Ridley Scott's Napoleon movie. That was fucking so cringe, but so funny though. Like, Joaquin
Hey, can you
Phoenix.
hear me?
Yeah, yeah, yeah. You're fine.
Okay, my mic just cut out there. Okay, it untangled there, but okay, that's good that you heard me. Okay.
CIA interference. Yeah,
Fucking interference,
I'm
Mike.
fucking sick at surveillance state, me. Uh, yeah. What was I saying? I can't remember. My brain's just exploded.
uh, I guess you were done in that part, but you were,
I think my brain is actually starting to like deregulate itself. It's so one thing I must say, like the worst thing about the UK in the heat waves is we don't have AC, do we, really, as a country? Because
It's
all of,
crazy.
and our buildings, our houses were built in in um, awareness of the fact that the UK gets very cold and in certain parts of it, and it's usually quite like a cold country, even during summer. It's mostly just like meh. So our houses are built for the cold. So when it actually is really hot, we're fucked. And like my room, I've got all these. My room is I live with my parents currently, and
Mhm.
my room, I've got a lot of gadgets and stuff and like electronic devices, and like at night I can't even fucking use them because they all generate heat and the heat stays in the room. And I'm fucking, it's horrible, mate. But then it's weird. If you ever come to the UK, there's a phenomenon of people who come in summer, and even people from like super hot countries like fucking Sudan, they come to like the UK and they're like, nah, bro, the fucking UK heat is proper hard to cope with because it actually is. It's fucking, it's a different type of heat. It's like it hurts versus countries you go to like Japanese heat was just, oh, that was lovely. Give me the Japanese heat.
Yeah, and luckily we have AC, and like I said, it's gonna be hot this week, and it's hot right now in my house. I got the because I actually I'm getting my AC fixed. It totally yeah, it does not work. So I have an AC in my window that my old coworker actually let me have. He wasn't using it, so put that. At least it's in my room. I need to get another one because it's gonna take a little bit before I get it fixed. I
Mm.
need to get the plumber out here too to get the pipes fixed, and I need to get that fixed first
It's never
before the
ending.
AC goes in. Yeah, no, it's never ending. $8,000, but yeah, uh,
Fuck.
it's not fun. That's why I'm working hard at my job, and because it's like I gotta pay for a lot of stuff.
Yeah. The thing is, again, about the UK is there's no point getting AC installed because the heat waves, you don't know when they're going to happen. And sometimes we have like a full summer that's just raining and cold and just all sticky and humid, and you can't do much about it.
Mm.
So yeah, it's fucking. I'm not massively enjoying the UK political climate, cultural climate, the whole
Oh
society is fucked.
dear.
Oh, I was going to ask you, have you been watching the World Cup? Do you watch like soccer at all?
I've been keeping up to date on it, but I haven't been watching it. But yeah, I like. I'm just getting updates on it
Yeah,
here and there.
obviously being British, we're fucking like
Of
it's a
course.
it's a cult, isn't it? Football hooliganism is like it's like a religious order.
Yeah,
Um,
we were yesterday and watching it.
yeah,
Yeah.
yeah, because I've not gone out to watch it much, but it's interesting that it's in America. In America, I've never seen it be in America before. And just the way American like commentators are versus English commentators over sports is very different. Very different. Uh,
Definitely.
but I was watching it today, and Japan got beat by Brazil. It was so funny because I'm not really into football,
Mm,
but like I am because I think it's actually quite boring footy to be honest. Other than but
yeah,
when they do score, it's pretty hype. It's like dope. It's pure dopamine that game. Like it's like
yeah.
waiting. It's like waiting for a dopamine hit, and when it hits, it's like the ultimate dopamine hit. Like
It's like
when
session 9. You
when
gotta
yeah, it's a slow burn. Eventually, it pays off. But like yeah,
That's funny.
When Harry Kane gets in fucking top bins, lad, and he scores for the boys back home, it's like yeah, I'm not even into football, but I get why people love it so much.
Yeah, yeah.
But some people turn it into like something really toxic, and it's like it becomes
Mm.
tribal warfare. Whereas like the beauty of football and sport and well anything like the Olympics and that is it's cool. It's cool to see like what countries are the best in their own like right. Like some countries are just better at football. And you know what's funny about England is like we're fucking going about football. Football is football. We invented it. We invented it, so we should win it. And it's like, well,
Right.
you can't just invent something and be good at it. Like some guy fucking mate, everything. Someone always invents something, don't they? Like the prototype, and then someone else comes along and like refines it, don't they? Like
Yeah.
in anything, like movies, video games, like like Atari, like Atari made the consoles, didn't they, back in the day? Atari's fucking gone because like Nintendo just saw what they did and was like, we will do it much better. Yeah, it's mad.
Yeah, so,
I feel like we've talked about everything ever.
eh, Right, right. That happens every podcast, it seems like. At least the ones we do, you and me do, together. When there's guests on, it's more,
Have
structured.
you ever typed in the Trip Sitters podcast on Google? I typed it in just one time to actually get one at thumbnails because I'd lost it, and then on Google it comes up with an AI overview, and it says the Trip Sitters podcast is a psychedelic and pop culture themed show where Psychonaut hosts Vivek and Tales from the Trip dive into
No
drug culture,
way.
yeah, drug culture history, trip reports, and casual conversations with creators. And it mentioned, and it was like listen to the interview with YouTuber Adam Johnston on Spotify. I
Oh,
was like,
wow.
I was
That's
like.
crazy. I wonder if they added that because of just the last episode we did.
I
That's
know.
so funny.
I know and it's interesting. There's another podcast on Spotify called Trip Sitters. So obviously someone had the idea, which I mean, I can imagine. Like it's it just makes sense if you make psychonaut drug based content. Probably call you fucking.
Right.
It just came to me. I remember me and Blair were like, it was like, what should we call it? And like when you overthink things and you think you got a good idea, and then it's actually
Yeah.
the most simple one is the most effective.
Right. Trip sitters works out so perfectly because it makes so much sense.
Mm.
So yeah,
It
that's awesome.
it says here, it says, yeah, it's like recent and notable episodes. Episode 24, an interview and discussion with popular YouTuber Adam Johnson regarding movie sucks. Episode 23, an interview with internet comedian Trey Borden discussing comedic skits and other topics.
Mm.
Yeah, it's fucking episode 4, going all the way back to episode 4. We're throwing it back.
Wow.
We're gonna take you back to the past. A discussion with TikTok creator Trip Whip about his psychedelic experiences and lifestyle.
Oh, Triplet. I
Wait,
remember.
wait,
Yeah,
well,
he's
we need to get him on again. I'd love to talk to.
yes.
I'd love to pick his brain again. He's a very interesting guy.
Yeah. He had a lot to say for sure.
That's the thing is that we have so much to say, and like the hours fly by, and we should do. We'll make a vow. We'll do this as regularly as we can.
Yes. I will try to do Monday. Like I could do next Monday for sure. I'd have to do it like, because I'm on the overtime list, so I don't know when I'm gonna get out, but I'm on vacation right now. So,
Yeah.
I'm probably gonna go in someday since I'm not going anywhere since I have so much stuff I gotta do in my house. I'm gonna have no money left over. But yeah, so I can, we can try to do it. Maybe like since my schedule, I'm not off like every single Monday. Every 5 weeks, I'm off on Monday, for sure. But so maybe we could just find random days during the week. But yeah, we should
Mm.
definitely make it more of a weekly thing, or at least 2 weeks.
Sure. Yeah. Yeah. If not a week, 2 weeks. Yeah, 2 weeks at the
Hmm.
at max. Yeah. So yeah, keep
Yeah,
your eyes
and
peeled
we should.
for that, folks, because
Yeah,
we'll be more active with it now. We'll be more regimented and structured.
and
We'll
we
lear-
should
we'll
get
we're learning. We've never done this shit before. Like I've never done this podcast before, so it's been interesting.
mhm.
I mean, I did one when I was a teenager, but it was a fucking joke. Like I was doing it for the lulz, but now this is like it's serious shit.
Yeah,
Well, it's still laid back, but it's like the structuring of it's interesting. But big ups to everybody who listens to this and enjoys our talks, our back
yeah.
and
Who
forth.
actually wants to hear us? Yeah.
Should we lock in a drug movie for next time? Because do you have any
Yeah,
ideas? Because if not, I could recommend. I think Spun could be good, or we could do one
yeah.
we've not. Because I've seen it and you've not, but I'd watch it again.
Okay. Yeah, that I love the movie Days Confused. I saw your rating on it. It wasn't too high,
I watched
but
I watched that film when I was like 14 and had never smoked weed before. Like I did not understand that film,
oh,
and
okay.
I'd love to watch that film. And another thing about
It's one of
me
my favorite
is
movies
like
ever.
I didn't like any of the music in that film when I was a teenager. But
Wow.
yeah, I mean I did I liked some of the references, but a lot of that film is more about like the American like 80s like hard 70s hard rock. Like Aerosmith, which I was never big into, but now I really like. Well,
Mhm.
when they were peak. But I'd love to watch that film again with like fresh perspective. Like 14-year-old Vivek brain did not. He didn't get that. Like he just watched it.
Yeah.
I just watched that film because I was told to because it was so culturally relevant.
Mhm.
So
Yeah.
we could do that. I'd say I think we should do Spun next time. Follow on like I think it's a good follow up to Smiley Face because it's like another 2000s strange concept movie with like big actors. It's quite similar in that respect. Yeah, I'd say lock that in. Anyone listening, if you want to get spun, unfortunately, if you live on this island called Great or Not So Great Britain, you probably can't access it, and you might have to
You
Well,
could go on Pluto. Pluto is free. It's on a lot of free things. It's on Disney Plus too. It's on. I'm
mm,
gonna probably watch it on Tubi since Tubi is the best thing ever.
your
But
your two your Tubi has everything it ever made. It's great
dude, it is awesome, man.
and for free.
And there's two movies I really want you to see. I know I mentioned them before, but Punishment Park is definitely one of them. And then Waves. Waves is. I was thinking about putting it in my letterbox favorites. It was that good. It made
Wait.
me cry, dude. It was such an emotionally impactful
Oh,
film. It
oh
was.
yeah, yeah. I saw your I saw what you wrote about that, and looking at
Yeah,
the
it's a great movie if you want to watch something like that. And then I know on Tuesdays you say you have that what you get with your friends watch movies and the
Mhm.
frickin' Who Killed Captain Alex, man. That movie is so funny. You'll thoroughly enjoy it.
I can't
It's
wait.
amazing. Yeah, you need to put it on.
I'm gagging. I'm gagging for we missed it this week. This week our film. Well, last week our film club. But
Oh,
if we
okay.
if we do it this week, that's 100% what I'm bringing to the table. Holy fuck! I
Awesome.
cannot wait to indulge in
I'd love to
Kevin
hear.
Spacey madness.
Yeah, I'd love to hear your opinion on
Mm.
it.
So anyone who lives in the UK, unfortunately, you're gonna have to find Spun through various other alternative means, or you could buy a DVD and go old school, or if
Right.
not, VPN it. I don't give a fuck anymore. Okay, another thing about another thing.
Spun is on YouTube too. I
Is
just
it?
looked it up.
Oh,
Yes.
you forget about that, don't you? Like so many films. I'll type in like a scene out of a film. Oh, have they got this scene? And then someone's just uploaded it, the full thing because like the rights to it are up in the air, aren't they? Like so many like old school animes from the 90s. They're just uploaded in full because there's no license. They've been lost to time. Like no, the publishers don't care like anymore.
Yeah.
Yeah, and Spun's been very lost to time as well. So, yep. And for
Mhm.
anyone who doesn't know, Spun is about crystal meth versus the film we covered today, which is about weed. So most of the
Mm.
films are going to be centered around a certain type of substance and how that affects them. And yeah, it'll be a nice little structure for the future. I'm excited. It was good fun picking this apart.
Yeah, it was. And we'll get someone that's no one on soon too.
Yes.
Maybe like after that one we can just like talk regularly, with him and get
Mm,
him on because we've been wanting to get him on
yeah.
too. And I'm sure he wants to come on as well. So
He's the missing piece of the puzzle.
yes, sweetie. All right, guys. This has been episode 25, the quarter annual episode of the Trip Sitters podcast. I'm your host, along with co host Vivek. I am Tales from the Trip Keeper. And we thank you so much for having us here. Well, I guess we're the ones creating. I'm thankful for you guys being here.
They created
uh,
us.
Yes, they created us out of their own spontaneous imagination. But yeah, have a great day, guys, and
Mm,
stay safe out there. Watch Spun if you
yeah.
didn't watch it, and get to Smiley Face too if you didn't see that. It was very, it's enjoyable for
Yes,
sure.
if you watch this on YouTube and you watch Smiley Face afterwards, please come back to the comments and let us know what you think about it because we do love reading your comments. Absolutely,
Yes.
much love. Take it easy, dude, but
See you
take it.
later.
Hasta la vista, baby.